Round 1. Fight!
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store in the Citadel. Oh! I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. It all comes down to one thing.
The Hungry Gamer. Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 250th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by Audio Technica and obviously 8bit.net. I'm your extremely humble host and extremely embarrassed host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me for this momentous 250th episode extravaganza, my co-hostess with the mostess, my podcast ride or die. You find her on them socials at Miss Allie Hart. Miss Allie Hart, how the bloody hell are ya?
I am having a blast already, celebrating this wonderful, momentous episode with you. I should be ashamed. I think we nailed it.
I think we did really well. That was not planned or scripted. We just went through it, shot from the hip, and I think we perfectly executed those little sound drops there, and I think we did those various games and franchises proud.
Yeah, coming DLC to your relevant game.
But yes, we are here. It has been a bit of a hot minute. We've had a little bit of a break in between episode 249 and the big 250. The big quarter thousand. What do you say when you get 1,000?
Math.
Quarter 10 times century. I don't know. Listeners, help us out.
Look, we only do voices. We don't do math, guys. Come on.
And we don't do either very well, but we're here for episode 250. My goodness gracious, what a journey it's been. We thought we might start off with a little bit of reflection. We've got a whole host of various categories and segments planned for this 250th episode extravaganza. We won't spoil what we've got planned. Just get comfy, because this episode may or may not go for a long time. We don't know. It's going to be fun though. We've got a few things that are different to our usual episodic rotation. We're not talking any games news, any games reviews, any insights like that. We're going a little bit different. We're going to go inwards, then we're going to go outwards with a few fun segments and topics. So it's going to be a journey, and as this podcast has been the whole time, it's been a journey of epic proportions. First beginning way back on January the 26th of 2016 saw the release of our first episode titled Payback. And now we're looking at July the 23rd here in Australia of 2021 for our 250th episode.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And I wasn't there for the start.
You weren't, but it's funny because, you are always on time, very punctual, but you were not there for the first several episodes. So
I was very, very late for the first two episodes.
And then, funnily enough, for your first official episode of The Hungry Gamers, I was not there at all.
No. So the very first episode was not very, wasn't very, very reflective of episodes now, essentially. Yeah. Which is kind of funny to think about.
Big changes. Big changes. Not only in, I guess, show structure, but obviously we've had had an assortment of long-term co-hosts and then guest hosts over the years. We've had so many people jump into these other THG chairs over time and add their insight, their insanity, and their humor and their offensive, bad hot takes and opinions. But it's all part of the charm that is the Hungry Gamers, and we love each and every one of you for that. But as far as the timeline, obviously, episode 1, January 26th of 2016. Then we fast forward to the 50th episode, which I guess is a bit of a mini milestone. That was done on February 5th of 2017. We actually had Michael and Tegan from Reset Podcast join us on that one.
Yeah.
And then we jump forward to episode 100. That was April 16th of 2018, sorry. And then moving forward again to the big episode 200, which we recorded last year on July the 9th, 2020. And now we're at episode 250. as I said, on recording currently on July 23rd of 2021. So boy howdy, have we got some episodes in that back catalogue. Just a who's who of video game infotainment from us and, hosts of old.
I was about to say 2019 had no milestones, but I assume 150 might have happened, maybe?
It would have. I probably should have added it in there. But yeah, I just went 150, 100, 250. Yeah,
pretty consistent with milestones every year.
Every year is a treasure and a gift and a blessing, as they say. So you're welcome, listeners. You're welcome.
Blessing your ear holes every year.
Yeah, and we've been doing it. We're having fun. I guess we could sort of have a look at sort of what we might perceive as notable highlights, maybe some high points of the show as a whole. Share some war stories and whatnot. Talk about maybe how things have changed over the years, and if we've got plans for the future. Who knows? So, Miss Hart, some highlights. What first comes to mind for you as far as looking back over these previous 249-ish episodes as highlights, whether it be episodic, particulars, or whether it be just the show as a whole, things that have come off the back of that? Where are you taking us?
It's sadly, it's nothing that the listeners get to experience, which is all the shenanigans that happens before and after the episode. Like, there is a lot of like oddities and weirdness and stories and all the things that never make it to air that are like just fond memories, whether we're just like hanging out and just talking shit or eating random ass food. I just recently rediscovered the video on my phone of us eating the Doritos that were like a mix with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, they were like a green color, weren't they?
Yeah, they were like green Doritos, and they tasted like, I think it was like Cool Ranch mostly, but and just like the weird shenanigans of like a lot of eating actually. And it's okay, we are the hungry gamers, but whether we're getting coffees or buying pies on a Saturday morning, buying meat pies and sausage rolls, it's those moments we all got to share together, like before we hit record and after, that are usually the most fondest.
Yeah, a podcaster's diet, I think, is very critical to a good show, good high energy show, and a good show full of shenanigans. And yeah, the old the Bank Bakery, I think it was called way back when.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, it used to be
the assortment of pastries and sweets and savoury delicacies accompanying our coffee orders on that Saturday morning was a very nice memory, and very good pies, I must say. That place was a ripper of a bakery. They delivered the goods. Yeah. So yeah, food has, I guess, been synonymous with the Hungry Gamers. Obviously, as you said, it's in the damn title. We talk a lot about food, whether it be on the podcast, outside of the podcast, whether it be pre or post, or just on the general chats. There's food discussion never too far away, and excited for the future in that regard. That's all I'll say on that, but we're working on a little something that might be tasty for you listeners out there. But I think that's great. The pre and post banter and shenanigans that came from this show, like before we went live, and now obviously aptly titled in the Is This Thing On podcast we've done, where we've thought, you know what, there's a bit of magic here. There's a bit of fun and a bit of insanity that I think we could bottle into little mini pocket episodes. And if you wanted to listen to that, obviously you can head over to ko-fi.com/weare8bit and support us monetarily. As low price as $1 AUD a month will get you exclusive access to Is This Thing On. It's a Ko-fi only podcast, not available on the podcast feeds. You can only get it there, so you can listen to some of this, what we like to call magic, that we harness before the THG microphones officially go live. So that's some good fun. I think some of the other things that have been highlights is just the events and the opportunities that have sort of come off the back of this. Being able to represent 8-Bit and represent the Hungry Gamers at things like PAX, at E3, at EB Expo, at Kinda Funny Live, all these types of events where we were able to go in an air quotes media capacity. I think we're anything but the media. We're just
really
some good friends having a laugh and sharing some insight on things going around the video game and pop culture universes. But to be recognized as sort of one of the one of the larger independent outlets out there, I guess, to be acknowledged in various award ceremonies and various things like that, getting noticed and acknowledged amongst our fellow peers is always very humbling, and it's been very nice to to not only be nominated but also win some award categories and ceremonies out there. So that's really nice. But yeah, the travel, being able to shoot down to Melbourne for PAX and staying in crazy ass Airbnbs and the hysteria that comes off the back of that, or, you know, traveling and getting to check out E3 firsthand prior to all this COVID nonsense and stuff. It's been really cool to weave that in with just a hobby and a pastime that we just love, and it's given us these great opportunities on the back of that, meeting cool larger than life personalities and interviewing people that we idolize and are fans of from within this space as a whole has been awesome.
Yeah. And like speaking, like we constantly discuss about how this podcast is like a hobby for us. It's, you know, 2 mates or, you know, 4 mates or however many are on the mic, just chatting and talking about things that we love. And you people out there listening, downloading and supporting, it's one of the most surrealist things on knowing that, you know, you guys out there support us, love what we do. And I can't even put into words like how much that means to us on a level, because like we're pretty humble. We still think we're kind of, you know, to a degree, just a couple of mates in a room just chatting. But knowing that you guys are out there listening and enjoying it means the world.
100%, yeah. Because without these listeners and fans and friends that you know have gotten in our corner and supported us over the years from 2016 through to now, whether you're new listeners, old listeners, you've jumped on, you've jumped off, you've jumped back on, whatever it is, like without all your support and your love, we wouldn't be anywhere near what we are today, and we probably still wouldn't be doing this today. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen, to share, to rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff, because it means an awful lot to us, and it just helps us keep moving forward. It keeps us energized and keeps us focused on wanting to do this week in, week out, but also deliver a product that we're proud of, and hopefully all you listeners out there are proud of too, because it's fun to do. And as Ali said, it feels sometimes that we're just screaming out into the abyss. So It's nice to get that feedback and get that interaction, and whether it be online, meeting in person, all that kind of stuff. It is very humbling and keeps us grounded and keeps us wanting to move forward and perfect this little creation, this little creature that we've been raising the last few years, and you know, see what it develops as it steps into adulthood and you know, becomes its own thing.
It's been developing for sure. Some of the rusty beginnings and all the like errors and learning from mistakes and all the weirdness that we kind of had to get around, and like actually hearing from people saying that like our quality, now that a lot of podcasts have gone to, you know, remote podcasting, we've refined that. We've nailed that. Yeah,
we were ahead of the curve, baby. We foresaw COVID. And we foresaw this new world, this new normal of being isolated and recording from bedrooms and studios and what have you. And we got ahead of that. We refined the science and got that secret sauce perfected. It's down pat. And it is funny because new listeners sometimes I'll be chatting to them online or whatever, and they're like, oh, so you guys meet up, you know, every week? Do you get together? I'm like, no, we're literally in other sides of the world. And they're like, really?
World, yeah.
Really? No way. Because yeah, the audio sounds like we're in the same room, and you know, that banter just flows across oceans, Miss Hart. Across oceans. It cannot be stopped, this banter. So it's good to know that yeah, we're still able to do this, even though we're, you know, at times living in different suburbs, then different cities, different states, now different countries, and it's still going.
Yep. Still polished.
Yep. It's like an old reliable Holden Commodore, you know, those things, you can drive them till they got like 1,000,000 miles on the clock. They just keep going, little minor service here and there, but it's still good as the day you drove it off the lot.
The Ford fans are crying.
Yeah, I'm probably more of a Ford guy as well, to be honest, but let's just say an old trusty motor vehicle that just keeps going.
Go car person, go.
Yep, I nailed that analogy. Nailed it. But yeah, as mentioned, we've got plenty of things to highlight and showcase and unpack on this 250th episode extravaganza. But we thought we might kick things off And we've got a little bit of an AMA going. And it's not video game related. It's not really pop culture related. It's more so like life and random questions. Because, we talk video games every episode. Each and every episode, 60 to 90 minutes without fail. So we thought, let's mix things up a little bit and go a little bit more random. We do plenty of randomness on THG, not going to lie. But these questions are, there's no what's your favorite console? There's no what's the best game of 2004 and whatever else. This is very, very out in the weeds, this stuff. But I thought it could be fun. So, yeah, we've got 20-ish questions. And we'll sort of rattle through these. Some might be a bit of a deeper dive. Some might be, real rapid-fiery ones. But we'll see where this takes us. And hopefully, listeners, you learn a little bit more about our inner psyches from this. There is some stuff here.
Maybe learn a little too much about it.
Maybe. I think that ship has sailed over his heart. Some of the things we've spoken about and said over the years would make people turn in their graves. Some of the things we've said, but you know what? I own everything I said. I'll stand by it all. Offensive, horrific, terrible. I'll fall on all those swords. A lot of bowel movement discussions I've realised thinking out loud right now.
Oh, we talk a lot of poop. We do. But this first question, nothing to do with bows, but maybe a little bit to do with boys, you could say. We're talking BOUY. And this question, Miss Hart, what would you name your boat if you had one? Well, I have an answer that's also very linked with sinking, and that is Titanic 2. Oh. Because I just don't think anyone would want to get on a boat named like that, so I could have that one to myself, right?
Don't let go, Miss Ellie. Don't let go.
Let's go.
Plenty of room on that door.
Wait, is my ship a door?
Well, if the Titanic 2 eventually sunk, I'm assuming there's a door you could hold on to for dear life and see it through. But we don't want to wish that on any type of nautical adventurous out there. Hopefully all you boaters are keeping safe. Yes. Boaties, boaters? What do you call them?
Boatists?
Boaters? Yeah.
No. Boasters. What about you? What would you name
This is a tough one. Depending on the colour of the boat, I wouldn't be opposed to calling my boat the Brown Shark.
Oh.
Going full brand and keeping it on the bow discussion. The Brown Shark.
Brown Shark game.
Or maybe the something like the Megalodon Hunter, or like the Mosasaurus, or something prehistoric.
Sorry, we're really not getting further away from the first topic, but my husband instantly read this question. He goes, "Oh, I have my name already." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And he goes, "Poseidon's Kiss." I'm like, "Oh."
I don't mind that, though. That's pretty fancy.
Oh, you know what Poseidon's Kiss is, though, right?
I do not. 1 second. I'm going to Google this right now.
So, I was equally impressed and disgusted.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So... listeners, I don't want to say go Google. I'm just going to tell you what a Poseidon's Kiss is. But it occurs when you poop and the toilet water splashes back up to kiss your butthole. That is a Poseidon's Kiss.
And now you know.
I still like that name even more, I think, now.
It does. And I think, he technically has the winning one, because for anyone that doesn't know, it sounds, poetic.
It really does.
And those who do know are like, oh, gross.
Yeah, maybe Red October. Maybe we'd call it, Red October.
Oh, was that a submarine?
That was a submarine. Yeah, so not completely true. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Brown Shark for now until I think of something even less appropriate. All right, the next question, Miss Hart. What is the closest thing to real magic?
Magic is something that's quite special and unexplained. So, cheese stuffed crust pizza? Or your brain. I was having this conversation with my husband recently. Your brain when you sleep knows to turn off most things but still remembers to breathe. It doesn't forget to do that, and that's pretty magical.
That's deep. That's good, though. That's a good question response right there. Or some might call that an answer, not a question. Jesus Christ. Clearly my brain is still in sleep mode. It's tough because I've always been enamored with magic. I like magicians and all that sleight of hand stuff, and
do you have a favorite
movies
magician?
About magic and fantasy and mysticism and all that. I'm all about that. I choose to believe that maybe there is some of that out there. Like there's just a bit of optimism in me that maybe there is some real magic out there.
Aw.
And I guess going the technological route of almost what you said there, as far as, like wireless technology, Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff. Like you think about it, that kind of stuff is pretty magical too. Like there's data, there's video in and around us right now beaming from object to object.
We are literally in two very far locations and having just a very coherent conversation.
Fable. Yeah, so stuff like that, like just the fact that you can get data down light or down a copper cable, stuff like that is just still amazing to me.
You shoot things into the sky and it bounces back down and you get information.
The fact that this stuff is getting transmitted, these little packets getting sent wirelessly through the air, through the world, through the space, through the water, wherever it is, and it's transmitting into audio and video and whatever else. Like I think that's still pretty magical to me. Like it's mightily impressive. And then on the back of that it went from the old CRT 4 SIF based resolutions now we're at like 4K, 8K, all this kind of stuff. Like it's getting out of control. So I'm going to say those technological advancements and wireless transmission of said data is pretty magical. I think that's pretty magic.
Stuffed crust pizza and data.
Both magical. Both go hand in hand.
Very magical.
Because I'm going to eat pizza tonight and probably watch Ted Lasso season 2 tonight. So that is...
Yes, that's magic too.
Oh yeah, special show. Next question, Miss Hart. Who is the messiest person you know?
I'm not necessarily the cleanest person, but I do actually enjoy the therapy of having like a very clean home. Like I like doing thorough cleans. I don't really have like an extremely messy person that I've known, but I will bring up the story of a family tradition of like calling out the person who makes the first mess and then the biggest mess at a restaurant table. So, which was usually held by either me or my dad. Mine was always accidental. My father was usually just like,
he was just like hoovering,
hoovering,
shoveling it.
Like, so, I don't know. I don't really know extremely messy people. I think because you think it would get to me. Like, I'm sure like that kind of chaos would kind of bother me. So I don't really know anyone too messy.
Yeah, I'm outside of saying Bentley, my French bulldog, he is a very messy boy. If we're going to go people only, I'm going to shout out / shame Salim the Dream Abraham and Panda TV, fabled Twitch streamers. Lovely guys, love them to death. Great friends of mine. But I've lived with both of them through various periods of my life, and knowing the assortment of clothes that were constantly on, say, Dream's bedroom floor and scattered around, the bed sheets, sometimes the corners were just untucked, and he'd be like, YOLO, I'm just going to sleep on this mattress then. I don't even care. Just living that disheveled dream life back in his day. He's cleaned up his act quite substantially now, so shout out to him for making those positive life choices. Mm-hmm. And then Ryan, because he streams like 60 hours a week, for the most part, like, in the field of view of his streaming camera, it's all well and good, but you look slightly out of shot. And there is Uber Eats snacks and empty bottles and this and that and chip packet here and boxes over there and whatever. Like, in that webcam framework, all looks good. Nice aesthetically pleasing vibe there. But if you turn that camera slightly left or slightly right, oh boy, nightmares would be
ruin
ensuing.
The illusion. Destroyed the illusion.
So shout out to those two messy, beautiful sons of bitches. The next question, Miss Hart, what do you think will finally break the internet?
I was trying to think, because like a lot of crazy stuff has happened, and the only thing that I can think of now is kind of in the direction we're heading. Like, someone will buy the internet. Like someone will monetarily own the internet and probably screw it up for the rest of us. Like, you'd have to buy an internet subscription or something. Technically, we do that when we, have to buy data plans and stuff. But like, I don't know. I could just see like it being like some crazy rich person buying it or owning it, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm going to sort of jump on the back of that too and talk about those crazy rich people and say a Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos sex tape would break the internet. Those two billionaires.
Oh, them two together?
Them two together, getting buck wild, two of the richest men in the world. I think that would break the internet. Or subsequently, what you also were talking about regarding ownership of it, something like Skynet, some kind of sentient AI rising up and somehow taking control of the internet. That is the other one.
You type into like Pornhub and then you just hear, I can't let you do that.
Exactly. Yeah, you must pay first, What are your credit cards? Oh, actually, I've already got them because you browsed this site and didn't check the security box. Own you now. But yeah, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates performing very bad fellatio on one another would break the internet, I think.
Yeah.
They'd just be disappointing each other. They'd all be like, tell me my bank account's bigger. Tell me mine's bigger. Oh my God, look at all those zeros. And it's just like, ugh, you gross. You know how much money I earned between thrusts? Anyway.
I went to space.
In a dick ship. My dick ship's bigger. All right. What is the most useless talent you have, Miss Hart?
I can pull my arm out of its socket.
Damn.
And you can actually like stick your finger in between there and feel the mush.
Feel the mush.
Because I don't know how else to describe it, but not a lot of people are game to do it because they're already disgusted because you can actually see my arm just like pop out, and they're usually already disgusted by that. So that's always a fun one because I'm super like hyperflexy, double jointed. So there's a lot of like weird, unnatural movements I can do with my arms. The other useless talent that I have is I can do the chipmunk voice on command without needing anything.
I don't believe you.
Well, you're gonna have to believe me, and what the audience isn't going to believe that I can actually do it because they're just gonna assume I have some buttons that I can press. So.
That was smooth. You broke me with feeling the mush, but you pulled me back with that deadpan, perfect Alvin and the Chipmunk delivery there.
Yeah,
they're pretty good talents.
Yeah, useless, completely useless. But they're my talents, and they scare people, and that's all I need.
Hands off my talents.
Hands off my talent.
Yeah, it's tough to think of like useless talents because I think when you dive down deep enough, you could probably find a use for all talents.
Even squishing the mush?
Oh yeah, definitely there'd be people out there on the internet where they'd pay a premium to squish the mush.
Really true.
OnlyFans. $5 a month to watch me squish my mush. All right. This episode...
In the chipmunk voice.
This episode's breaking the internet.
For the mess.
See? That's the premium tier.
Yeah, that's...
All right, so as far as useless talents, I feel I've got pretty sensitive taste buds. Like, I've done a lot of blind tests over the years, and I did this at a previous job where we bought an assortment of, like, official, let's say, Doritos, Cheese Supreme, then we bought CC's equivalent, then we bought the Aldi equivalent and whatever. And the guys at work blindfolded me, and we did this for like chip types, chocolate types, dip types, a couple of drinks as well, and milks. And I answered every single one of them. Like, they put one in my mouth, taste it, chomped it around. I'm like, yep, that's the Doritos, that's the CC's, that's the Aldi, that's the Coles brand, rah, rah, rah. And I did that with an assortment of flavors, shapes and biscuit styles and stuff like that. And just went bam, 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 bam. So that's one that comes to mind. Sadly, I don't have any mush to squish, and I can't do a chipmunk voice to save my life.
I have another creepy talent where I can usually tell a woman's perfume just by sniffing.
How close you need to be?
Not close. Like, they have to obviously have it on, but there's been a few awkward occasions where I'll be like, oh, someone's wearing this. And then the person will be like, yes, I am. And I'm like, sup?
Who's in the Dior? That'll be me. Yeah, I smell you, baby.
Oh, I smell some Versace. I see you, Euphoria.
I love cologne and perfume.
It's like, the best.
Especially
it's
a good one where it
thing.
just sneaks into your nostrils, and then all of a sudden it just like almost like gives your head and your senses just a big cuddle, and you're like, oh, hello.
It's like there's not a lot of things that I obsess over, like that I have the thing where I probably pay a little too much money for, but I love perfume.
I'm with you.
Perfume's my thing.
I'm with you. Like, I know typically it's like cologne or eau de perfume or whatever it's called for men, but I've got about 10 or 12 different ones in my house, and I've got sort of 2 that I rotate primarily on.
I
Good
usually
smells
have
are
like
key.
20.
Good smells are key. Don't stinge out and just use brute or, low end stuff. Get the good stuff.
So you're valid to have your lower end stuff for your regular occasions. That's okay. But for special occasions, obviously have higher stuff. And people's sense of smell and attraction, it's very it works. It's a very, very scientific thing anyway. Also, remember, do not spray directly onto your skin and tap it. You bruise the scent. Spray it in the air, walk through it.
Yep. It's very true. God, I love good. There's nothing sexier when you're meeting someone or just something, nothing you can appreciate more, I think, whether it be, a mate of yours or a potential love interest, and you're meeting them or seeing them for the first time or whatever. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. That just adds
good.
this additional aura around them as far as like hotness. It's like, oh yeah. Good smell is key. Spend some money to get the good stuff, but stay away from my Sauvage by Dior. That's my scent, you motherfuckers. That's mine. Man, get away from it. That's mine. But that's that.
I don't think I have.
All right, Miss Hart. What would be on the gag reel of your life?
When I got stuck in one of those kids' rides in the front of the supermarket and a bunch of people had to get me out.
How old were you when this happened?
I was a teenager, but probably on the higher end of teenager, where I should not be jumping in a kid's ride and trying to ride it. My legs got stuck. It was a rocket.
They are very cramped, those little kids' rides. I guess hence the age limits on them that are plastered on the sides, but I appreciate that you had to go.
I tried, and the point is that, yes, I did fit in it. Could I get back out? It took a while.
But you're here now, so I'm assuming they, even they had to get the jaws of life or whatever they out and break that rocket.
No, I had a bunch of people pushing my leg one way so it would actually get out.
Well, lucky you're so flexible and double jointed, you could have just, pushed around.
While we're here, does anyone want to feel the mush? Yeah, actually, teenagers shouldn't be saying that. That
mush helped save your life that day. I'd say most of the gag reel stuff for me would be to do with a lot of the old jackass stuff that we used to make in the late teen years, early adult years.
These stories fuck me up.
So much stuff. Like there's things like some footage, if like the dude that I used to do it with, we haven't talked in a good long time, but I'd love to try and get a copy. Maybe I need to reach out and see if he's still got this and I can get a copy, because there's stuff of like...
Just make sure it's not incriminating.
Yeah, there's a few things there that are a bit gross, but like there's footage of me like pissing on industrial grade electric fences and getting zapped and getting like sent, jumping out of the back of moving cars into bushes, jumping off bridges.
Oh, gosh.
Various things with trolleys, making homemade hot pepper spray and seeing how that goes, riding bikes tied to things, slap fights, laxative, overconsumption, all these types of things. A lot of injuries and bumps and bruises, so I'd say that's probably the main gag reel stuff. And I think another one, funnily enough, now I'm thinking about it, I probably shouldn't talk about this too much, but I will anyway. There was a girl I was seeing and liking at the time in my high school years. And I remember we were at a party, and as you do as teens, you overindulge and overconsume. And we were a bit tipsy. And I went to kiss her for the first time. And then, I was really into this girl. And just as I went to kiss her, she, vomited all, not on me, beside me. And then, wiped her face, cleaned herself up. And then, I was still I was that drunk I didn't care. I'm just I went to lean in. She's like, I just threw up. I just vomited. My mouth's my breath bad, whatever. I'm like, I don't care. I love vomit. Let's kiss anyway. And I kissed her, and the taste and the smell was so, it made me vomit. Straight, I pulled out mid kiss and went and then that was it. So that would also be on the gag reel of my life. A sympathy vomit mid kiss. With a high school sweetheart. So
I would
good
have
times.
loved to have been someone just nearby watching that. Just this couple trying to make out and just vomiting.
It would have been a scene out of most of those early 2000s teen movies. It would have been hilarious for everybody but us. But still got the kiss, and that's that. All right, the
Win's a
next
win.
question, this could be a quick one too. Where is the worst smelling place you've been? Mine is Thailand, by far.
Oh.
Walking some of those, like not the entire country as a whole, but certain areas of Thailand, especially in like the built up suburban CBD areas with the shops and everything, walking down those streets, just the smell of sewage and everything else was just like whack, 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 just smashing you in the face no matter where you walked. And you eventually kind of get used to it and a little less sensitive to it. But yeah, especially on the hot, humid, muggy days, it feels like you're getting slapped by a fish dipped in shit every step you take. And it's not a good time.
No. Ugh. My story comes from like being a kid and being on like my uncle's like massive property and like adventuring off into like the woodland area and finding one of those, as you do, the creepy shack, the weird creepy shack that you find abandoned in the woods sometimes. And it was run down, but like you walked in there and it smelled like piss and crap and other miscellaneous stuff, and I just remember it was this foul smell, and it was summer, so obviously it was baking in there and everything, and it was just it was the worst kind of smell. And like obviously there was all the other dodgy stuff that you would find in there, but yeah, that hot tin baked feces room was just so bad. Yeah. Ugh.
And I think everyone's stumbled across or been into one of those random decrepit rundown shacks.
Yeah, it's a rite
They're
of
in
passage.
every person's part of their upbringing in their early teenage years, right?
Yeah. There was this weird 70s porn mag there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you'd see the occasional ones where there'll be like spray painted pentagrams in there and stuff to try and make it like, be badass. I've been in a few of those types of buildings.
Yeah.
So many. Okay, on a much more positive note, Miss Hart, what celebrity would you rate as a perfect 10? And that's open to interpretation, I think.
Well, I have two. My
Okay.
first perfect 10 is Aubrey Plaza.
Yep.
To me, she's the perfect female. She's gorgeous. She's funny. She's weird. She kind of like keeps to herself, but like she's just this wonderful combo of wacky, beautiful, and wonderful and funny. That I just adore. So to me, she's a perfect 10. And then on the other side, I also have John Hamm, who is absolutely gorgeous and debonair and well-spoken, but he's also really hilarious. So to me, he is also a perfect 10.
I can't argue with either of those. I agree wholeheartedly. John Hamm is a specimen of a human being. And as a fellow male, I can admire and respect the hell out of him and his swagger and his look, and yeah, his comedic delivery. Like I just remember him in Kimmy Schmidt predominantly, as far as the first time I really saw him lean into the comedic sort of side of acting, and I was in stitches.
I like the first time I witnessed him doing comedy, he was actually on a podcast, Comedy Bang Bang.
Yep.
And he was like winging it and he was going with the flow and it was just hilarious. So, yeah, gorgeous and funny.
Yeah,
Win-win.
he's just a dude. And two other dudes that I think are up there for me. And funnily enough, they're two Aussie boys. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Hugh Jackman. I just love everything about him. Like, looks wise, yeah, like he's a good looking rooster, don't get me wrong, but like, married his high school sweetheart, still with her to this day, great actor, can sing, can dance, lovable dude, does a lot of charity work, just seems like a good dude that if you met in the street and said, mate, have you got a minute? I feel like he'd be a dude like, yeah, well, sure, what's up? What can I do for you? Like just a fantastic human being. And then I guess from a looks perspective, I got to give a bit of respect and love to the big old Chris Hemsworth. I think he's just a specimen from the physical sense. And another thing too, he's a family man living back here in Australia, living just down the road from me in Byron Bay, doing his thing. Seems to be still a bit of a humble dude and stays true to his roots and a bit of a family man. And I can appreciate that.
Just realised another 10 out of 10, and I'm sure this is an answer for both of us. Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah, Henry Cavill is the international man that I was going to throw some love towards as well, just based off similar circumstance. Just a good looking dude, seems like a good hearted man, and seems genuine from everything you see online and spoken about in articles and in interviews and what have you. And yeah, he just he embodies what a lot of men could aspire to become. That's for sure.
True that.
And as far as like females, there's many perfect 10s out there for various reasons, but I'm a little bit of a fan of Kristen Bell. I think she's cute as a button, but I like her as an actress. Like, she just cracks me up, and she just feels like she could be one of the boys. Like, she's not my, I guess you could say, if we're going to go Gone in 60 Seconds, she's not my Eleanor. I'm not saying that, like, she's not the woman I put above all people, but I think just as far as the sum of all parts, I really like the cut of her jib. Great actress, good variety of roles, seems just like a cool person I'd like to have a chat to one day. And as far as aesthetics, I don't know. There's too many attractive people in the world from all sexes, and that's the hard part. Well, it's a good part, but a hard part to narrow it down. So I'm gonna give a bit of love to Kristen Bell, and also just from a pure, I think, aesthetics and long-term crush thing, I have had a bit of a thing for Megan Fox for a while too. She is a
oh really?
She's a siren. Yeah, she
with
is.
Her weird thumbs or whatever people.
I don't care. Her. I don't care. I'll touch that mush if they're in those thumbs. Well, I do not give a crap. Like, she's gorgeous, and I think I just like that she's got this like doesn't give a shit attitude. Like, she was one of the first to speak out about the treatment of women in Hollywood and got really, hung out to dry on all of that. And then years later, obviously, you get the whole Me Too scenario, and she's just doing her own thing. She seems pretty on the level, and she just walks the beat of her own drum, and I can respect that. And the fact she's not too bad on the eye as well, that's never a bad thing. But
sure. A
lot of gorgeous people out there, both inside and outside, and that's what's important, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Miss Hart, what's a body part that you wouldn't mind losing?
My toes.
Your toes?
Yeah.
I was trying to work out, like, how big or small the body part is that we're talking about. Like, yeah, do you just say, like, oh, my thumb or my left ear? Like, or do we say it's got to be, like, an arm or a leg?
Well, I'm saying, like, all toes. So I guess that kind of counts, like to a D. It adds up.
You need them for balance, too. You'd be learning to walk.
I don't think I do.
You're just going to walk on your heels.
Well, no, like on the because I have really arched feet as well. So I could probably just balance. But I don't like my toes because I used to be a ballerina, and I look up ballerina toes, and you'll see why.
I've watched Black Swan. I see how those toes go.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a good time.
So it's not a good time. It's not a good time.
If you had to lose your arms or your legs, which would you be more comfortable with saying goodbye to?
My legs.
Your legs.
They're already on the way out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, like if I had to get amputated, like from the knees down, I'd take that over, say, the elbows down. Unless I could get really intuitive and responsive Jack's arms. If they had like metallic limbs ready to go and they work just as smoothly as your hands do now, I'd certainly take the new arms and keep my original legs. But if it was sort of modern day tech, yeah, I'd keep the arms and lose the legs. Maybe I'd go like who was the robotic duck in Duckwing or DuckTales? Darkwing Duck, sorry, not Duckwing. And he had like the one wheel as his legs. You know that guy? He was like the police duck.
He looked kind of like RoboCop.
Yeah, but he had a wheel leg.
Yeah, and it was one wheel.
Just one wheel, like a unicycle.
Yeah. No, the name's not coming to me.
Maybe I'd go that route if I could too. Just one wheel, and then my arms just be zinging around.
Just go full cyborg.
Save money on fuel. Save money on parking.
Well, no, you still gotta. Oh no, I was gonna say you still have to gas yourself up.
Yeah, maybe that just falls into the same bucket as eating, fueling myself with a steady dose of carbs. I don't know. The next question probably goes back to the previous question about the gag reel and what's the dumbest way you've been injured. And a lot of that dumb shit I did. There's too many dimensions. So it's a laundry list. I've been hurt that many different ways in that many different styles over the years. It's not funny. So That. Oh, and also a quick honourable mention to we were fishing down at Tathra, which is a little town on the south coast in New South Wales. And my uncle and I used to go down there and we're fishing off this wharf, and over night time the wharf just gets jam-packed and there's almost elbow to elbow of people fishing off this thing to try and catch fish. And this guy, a couple of sort of seats down from us, casted back one day and sort of whipped the fishing rod back and had a big pilchard and a hook on it. Whipped back, hooked me in the fucking face, so I had a hook in my face and a pilchard attached to it, and I was in pain and I was about to get really angry and make a big outburst, and I looked down to who it was, and it was this dude that was actually paraplegic in a wheelchair. So my anger just went back to zero, and then he sort of wheeled over. My uncle sort of calmly got this pilchard and hook out of my face and gave it back to him, and we had a bit of a laugh and whatever. And yes, that's another dumb way I've been injured. A fishing hook and bait to the face. Yeah.
I sprained my ankle playing Bull Rush.
Shout out to Bull Rush, by the way.
I don't think they're allowed to play that anymore.
Kids don't know. Kids don't know what was good these days.
They really don't.
Bull Rush, bit of what's the time, Mr. Wolf?
Oh yeah, dinner time. Yeah, no, yeah, I've sprained my ankle because why not? That's like I really haven't injured myself. Knock on wood. I really haven't.
Yeah, too many times.
Only mental damage.
Climbing over the side of a water slide at a caravan park as a kid, and I slipped and hit my mouth on the side of the water slide and slapped one of my front teeth in half. That was another way. That's pretty stupid. That was some of the most pain I've ever felt in my life. But anyway, next question. Which fictional character would be the most boring to meet in real life?
Bella Swan from fucking Twilight.
Ha! Yeah. Can I just jump on the back of that and say Edward Cullen from Twilight as well? Because
sure.
They're just boring people. Maybe even like Harry Potter's another one. He's just a boring dude. Like, yeah, he's a cool magician and a cool wizard. Not a magician, he's a cool wizard. He's just boring.
He's a magician. Yeah. No, I just like, I try to think, I'm like, who is the most annoyingly boring person I can think of? And like, I thought of Bella Swan because there's a guy on TikTok that just recreates scenes that Bella Swan does, and it is just hilarious. But yeah, she's terrible. She's so terrible.
Probably any character that Vin Diesel has ever played, outside of maybe the Iron Giant because he's a cool giant robot, but like, you know, Dominic Toretto, Fast and Furious, like, yeah, those movies are big stakes and crazy set pieces, but he is boring as batshit. Mr. Vin
When
Diesel.
you have family.
Yeah, like, even Pitch Black, like, that movie was awesome, but Vin Diesel was deadpan. Well, Vin Diesel was Vin Diesel. So anything that Vin Diesel's probably touched for the most part would be very boring. Who else can I not stand from fictional times?
Wait, you were just saying his character, right? You're not saying Vin Diesel's fictional.
Oh, yeah, his character. So anyone he's portrayed, going way back, anything that he's touched. I'm trying to think. Winnie the Pooh, he'd be boring to meet. I'd want to hang out with Tigger and Eeyore and Roo. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on Winnie the Pooh. I don't know.
Winnie the Pooh's a sweetheart. Probably a little too sweet, and yeah, probably a little too sweet in the heart as well.
That's true.
Too much honey.
All right, next question. What is the best and worst purchases you've ever made?
This is gonna sound really corny, but I was trying to think, like, what are the best purchases? And like, my favorite purchases are the ones that I buy for other people, like the ones where, like, I know that a person really wanted something and I was able to get that for them. Like, I remembered or something like that. And then just seeing how ecstatic they are, not because they got it, but maybe because someone listened. Like, that to me is probably my favorite purchase.
That's good. And it's very true. Like, seeing that genuine love and surprise and just enjoyment and happiness that comes from, like, when they open that box or, you know, rip that wrapping paper off and go, holy shit, I said that once a year and a half ago and you remembered and now it's here. Like, yeah, they are some big mic drop moments, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely like my favorite because I can't think of some item that I've bought that really outweighs that. So, the worst item, I can't really think of anything. I can tell you that the toilet seat we bought recently broke. So that was a bad purchase.
And that's
No one
that's
wants a broken
pretty much
toilet
its
seat.
sole purpose is to
I
not
know,
break
right?
and support your
Literally.
derriere.
Well, yeah, support our butts. But yeah, I can't really think of anything too worse than that.
Shooting from the hip, Winston and Bentley for both of these answers. Just
Aw,
kidding. Just kidding.
nuggets.
But like as far as best purchases, especially this day and age, like where COVID and isolation and living alone and all that kind of stuff is commonplace for a lot of people, having those two boys have been a bit of a godsend, a bit of a lifesaver, keeping me happy and keeping the spirits up amidst all this madness and depression that everyone's fighting through. So the two boys certainly come to mind. The random spontaneous ticket to Canada, I think, was a good purchase because it really opened my eyes and sort of proved that, yeah, you can do whatever, like you can do anything and you can take a risk, and, you know, it'll pay off in ways that you might not have prepared for or forecasted, you know, or thought about. So that ticket really helped sort of shape who I was and I guess confirm that, yeah, you can take risks, you know, you can take risks and they will or won't pay off, but you'll be fine. You know, it taught me a lot about life, that situation. As far as worst purchases, I'm sort of looking around my room. I've wasted a lot of money on a lot of things over the years. So there is a laundry list of bad things that I've done financially. Most recently was when I bought like the car before the car I've got now. I traded in my old Audi and bought a brand new Audi off the lot. And I bought it on a whim. I took it for one test drive, went, yeah, I'm in, let's go. And then like a month or 6 weeks later, I traded that in to get the car I've got now, and pretty much took like a 15 grand hit to make this happen. But because I was so stubborn, I'm like, no, I want this other car. I did that. So in the span of like 2 months, I lost 15 grand in a car shuffle, which, you know, it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little bit. But yeah, that's one that comes to mind, I think.
That's pretty fair.
Pretty fair. Oh, and another one. I bought a Wahl, you know, the male grooming company. They do like beard trimmers and hair clippers. Wahl, WAHL, big American company. I bought one of their beard combs, like the heated beard comb straightener thingies.
Oh,
I bought one of them.
Yeah.
Just because beards, you know, when they get a bit bigger, they get a bit untamed, and you need to keep that tight. Bought this thing. It is the biggest fucking piece of shit I've ever bought in my life. I spent like $70 on this thing, and I charge it like when it runs flat. I'll let it charge for like 8 hours, 10 hours, so I know it's got a full charge, and then I literally get probably 20 minutes worth out of this thing. Like I'll use it 2 or 3 days in a row, and then it's dead again. And it's like, what the hell, man? What the hell? And I even bought one of their like wild beard clipper sets that are also lithium battery powered several years ago, and it was also a piece of shit. Their internal lithium batteries cannot bloody run a mouse wheel. It is ridiculous. So while I'm calling you out, I'm putting you on blast, your wireless battery powered stuff sucks ass.
Got him.
Got him. Got him. All right, the next question. If you had to change your name, what would your new name be? And why, if you wanted to? Also go deeper.
I don't. Like, I've never really... Like, I've always... No, I can't really think of any kind of other name. I know what my other name was going to be. Like, my mum told me my other name was going to be Bethany.
Okay.
I think I could have been a Beth.
You could have worked a Bethany.
I could have worked... Well, not Bethany. Beth.
Just Beth, yeah.
Yeah, just Beth. But I can't really think of any other name. I just think of like a funny name that, like, you know, that people would have to say out loud. Like, my favorite one is Tits McGee. I love...
Yo, Tits! What are you doing?
Yeah. Miss McGee, Miss Tits McGee. It's just a funny name, and like it's from Anchorman, so that's like the only one that I can think of that genuinely like makes me laugh, and I just love hearing people say it.
It is a cracker, and if you legally change your name to that, I would lose my mind. I'm just probably going to go retrospective on this one and think of the names I wanted to probably... I was trying to get friends and family to call me when I was a kid.
Oh.
And initially it was Peter Venkman. What I used to tell people, my name's not Brendan, my name's Peter Venkman, which is obviously Bill Murray's character in Ghostbusters. Funnily enough, wearing a Ghostbusters jumper right now. So Peter Venkman, or I used to say my name was Spike White. Not Brendan White, it was Spike White. So, yeah, get my name changed to Spike. And that's not from Buffy fandom. That's from The Land Before Time and the big dopey Stegosaurus boy that just eats and sleeps all the time. I loved Spike. And so, I used to make people call me Spike White. And that lasted for probably a year and a bit, the old Spike White. So, I was maybe 4, 5, somewhere around there. So Spike or Peter Venkman would be my name.
Hungry Gamers with Tits McGee and Spike.
I'd listen to that show. All right, the next question, Miss Hart. What are some things that sound like compliments but are actually insults?
Like, I know there's like a handful that where like people don't mean like it's a like kind of like a backhanded thing where they try to be nice, and the only one that I could think of was when I used to cop it a lot, which was like I'd be hanging out with my male friends and then they'll be talking about something and they'll be like, "Oh, Ali's here," like because it's kind of a bit on the raunchier side or maybe a bit more truth to male conversation, and they would say, "Oh, she doesn't count. She's she's one of the boys.
She's one of the boys.
She doesn't count." Now I don't mind being called like one of the boys. That's fine. But when they used to always say like she doesn't count, and kind of just like cuts off this acknowledgement that I was female. It was just like she doesn't count. Like whoa, I count, but. That was always one that used to kind of grate me a bit. Don't mind being one of the boys, but saying she doesn't count. Like, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you're just a vessel. You're just a shell. You're like, she'll be right,
She's okay.
Yeah.
This one of the boys, she'll be right. Yeah, it was always weird because I know there was never any intention of like snarkiness or meanness or anything like that, but it's just kind of like I was like, ooh, I don't count.
Yeah, it's a bit short, cuts right to the core, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Other ones, like this is tough because there's nothing that like I've experienced like firsthand or things that I say that I could sort of think of that are like complimentary insults or vice versa. So like, and there's probably a lot of things I say that could be a little bit sarcastic. Like I'm very sarcastic with a lot of things I say. So there's probably many things that listeners have heard or friends and family have heard me say over the years where I mean them in a complimentary manner, but they are maybe a little bit insulting or a little bit harsh. So sorry for the people that I have potentially wronged over the years because, my natural sarcastic tone for most things is probably a little off-putting for some. I'm trying to think of other ones. And then I was like, how we say things are fine. Is that an insult but a compliment? Like, is that sort of a double-edged sword? Well, it's fine. It's like, well, what's fine defined as? Like, it's passable. Like, it's all right, but it could be better. Like
I think when we say fine, and it's a nice way of saying passable.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I don't know. That was a tough one for me to sort of think of good, well-formed answers as far as, oh, you said that and it means this.
You play games pretty well for a girl.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole stigma we could go down that type of path as far as things you hear, especially when you're kids and early adults and stuff. Some of the shit that gets thrown around, you're like, oh, I'd never say that now. Mm-hmm. These days, we're just perfect. We're just perfect with our mush. So don't worry. The next question: what is your biggest screw up in the kitchen? And this isn't the biggest, but this literally happened last night. Night. I went out I had a work lunch yesterday and I enjoyed the work lunch that much. I ordered a meatball sub to take away knowing that I'm going to have it for dinner for last night, right? And it got wrapped up and it was wrapped in like, the takeaway paper, sort of that feel. And I stupidly, when I'm like, I got to reheat this thing. I thought in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe this thing's wrapped in alfoil. And I felt, I'm like, nah, it's just paper. I didn't open it up, chucked it in the microwave, and then went to go to the bathroom. And I start hearing this like sizzle crackle thing. And the doggos are carrying on. I'm like, whatever. I'm trying to take a pizza. And then I came out and I looked and my fucking inside of the microwave was on fire because there's alfoil on this thing, and it's sparking, and it's on fire, and it's smoky. I opened the microwave up. I grabbed this flaming baguette, tossed it in the wash basin in the sink, poured the tap on to get the fire off, and then it's crackling and spitting. Because it was wrapped in that paper, and I grabbed it so fast, there's bits of like flaming paper cinders now, like in the kitchen, flying to the ground, nearly landed on the dogs, and like I had to snap this wee off halfway through, so I'm like clenched bladder, uncomfortable, bits of pee dripping down my leg, bits of fire falling from the sky, crackly sandwich in the sink. What was that?
You could have put out the fire with your pee.
I could have. I didn't think that, but then I thought it could. You
wanted the sandwich
snack,
to be
ruin my
salvable.
dinner.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. Luckily managed to then unwrap this meatball sub. Meatball sub was undamaged. I ended up putting it back in the microwave, reheating it for a short amount, not wrapped in alfoil. Happy days. My microwave works. My house didn't burn down. The dogs didn't catch fire.
No
the
thanks
sub
to
tasted
you.
fine.
They did their job.
Good times.
Poor doggos are like trying to fucking tell you, mate, that something's going on. Don't tell us to shut up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this pizza done because I had it was at that threshold where you cross the liquid threshold where you're peeing often and for a long time, and I was midway through this often long time wee, and all this hysteria and alfoil shaped fireworks are going off, and so I ran back up the hallway like clenching at my hips, so like because I'm still got a bladder that's trying to force its way out of me, and it was a thing. It was a hilarious moment, but I ended up getting the sub, eating the sub, and it was delicious, and now we laugh about it today. This was just last night.
It's hilarious. Like I was just gonna like say that I just constantly fuck up ingredients like cooking, like not constantly, but like I once put cumin in a like baking dish instead of cinnamon.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's
you get
a very
the spice,
big difference.
or you get the cinnamon can be spicy to a degree, but it's chalk and cheese.
These are two different flavors. It's because you put in all that effort, and then for it to come out and be like, "Guess you didn't use the right thing. This tastes like shit."
I've done similar where I've mixed up like salt and sugar or flour and self-raising flour. I've had a few disasters like that over the years.
That's one of my favorite stories from my mum's fail. My sister, when she was like really, really young, my mum made her Wheat Bix. Wheat Bix, sugar. And then my little sister's like, it tastes like the ocean. And my mom's like, stop misbehaving. Like, keep on eating. She's like, tastes like the ocean. She started crying. She's like, eat it. I don't, And then
you
she's
eat that
like,
ocean.
my sister's crying. And she's like, fine, don't eat it. You don't get anything. And then my brother woke up. So then my mom goes, eat this. She didn't want to eat it. And then he goes, why is there salt on this?
Tastes like the ocean. That's my favorite line. It tastes like the ocean.
The ocean. Like my sister, like this young little kid, like this little like toddler trying to explain why she doesn't want to eat the Wheat Bix. And it's a good analogy. It tastes like the ocean.
I love that. I'm going to use that from now on. That is so great. Oh my God. But yeah, so many minor mishaps and random food situations over the years where, you over or under compensate on an ingredient, or you grab the ingredient that looks exactly the same as the other one, and hilarity ensues. Cooking's fun though. And
it's a science.
Don't let those bad experiences deter you from cooking again. Like get in there, experiment, have fun, enjoy yourself in the kitchen.
Yeah.
All right, the next question, Miss Hart. When did you screw everything up but no one ever found out it was you?
I can't think of that. The only thing I can think of is that once I spilled like something on a piece of carpet, and then the whole carpet had to be removed, but the blame never got landed on me, even though it clearly should have. I think I spilled wax, like candle wax, into carpet.
That'd be tough to get out of the carpet too.
Yeah, so the whole carpet had to be removed, but somehow I didn't cop the blame for it. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, nothing exciting, unfortunately. I'm a very well-behaved child.
I'm going big on this one, and I'm probably going to incriminate myself by announcing this. My mum and my sister know this was me, but most of Cooma, the town I grew up in, have no idea. When I was a mere early, maybe I was 11, 12, something like that, early teen years, I accidentally set fire to a nature reserve and many hectares caught fire. Nearly a couple of houses were lost in this fire and the fire brigade had to get called in and all this kind of stuff. And it was intense. It was very intense. But yeah, no one ever found out that it was me outside of a couple of family members. And this happened like a week before my birthday. So being of that age, I'm like, I'm never getting presents again. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. And my mum gave me the cold shoulder for a good long time after that because, accidentally set fire to a few hectares of bushland and nearly had some local neighbours' houses get consumed in that fire too. So there you go.
Holy crap. But
now everybody knows. So, but this happened far too long ago. So have fun pressing charges now, suckers.
Knock, knock, knock.
All right, the next question. What problem or situation did TV/movies make you think would be common, but when you grew up, you found out it wasn't?
I thought piranhas were going to be way more of an issue.
What were you watching that had so much piranhas in it?
Just cartoons and everything. Like it was always one of the dangers of like crossing water was piranhas. So you don't even witness them. That's
true. Yeah. Yeah. Only the bad ones in South America. So we're okay.
Yeah.
We're okay. This was a tough one. Like it depends on what era you're thinking of with this. Like you watch a lot of the I grew up watching a lot of comedies and a lot of romance movies and stuff. So I just assumed I was going to get into these big romantic situations with big romantic gestures and I'm going to find my love at a bookstore because we've got the same book fandom or whatever. None of that stuff happens. None of that happens. There's no chance meetings at coffee shops where you've got the same birthday or whatever. Like, yes, there is probably 1 in a billion scenarios where this stuff goes down, but I, the eternal hopeless romantic, have pretty much never experienced one of these scenarios, and it sucks. Aww. It sucks. I'm still old and jaded about this, but like...
There's still time. There's still time for these things to happen.
And I've had some great moments, great memories, stuff like that, but that's the big one that comes to mind is that situation. And then also... another one that I think a lot of people assume would happen is you watch these movies and TV shows and you see these friendships from childhood through to adulthood and you stay best friends with your school friends forever. That is all a lie. I don't really talk to anybody from my school anymore. And yes, there's some instances out there where those friendships follow through. But for the most part, that kind of stuff is bullshit as well.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I thought was bullshit was like a lot of American things. Like I'd watch TV and like all the American shows, and then now I'm living here. I'm like, that was all bullshit.
Yeah,
it's nothing like it.
Yeah, and I guess this is another one on the back of that too. I guess it was a bit of a misconception from me is you watch a lot of these American shows about kids in school, and you grow up thinking, oh yeah, there's going to be this big crazy cafeteria, and we're going to get all this awesome food. Then you get to those school years here in Australia and there's none of that. There's a canteen, which is awesome, but you don't get the tray and the sloppy joes and all that. I was obsessed with that as a kid, growing up thinking, yes, I'm going to get to the cafeteria and I can wear whatever clothes I want and I can get a burger and a hot dog. But you don't get that here.
My senior year, our school, you were allowed to wear whatever you want as long as you stayed within the school colours, and we had a cafeteria where you could go in and have a tray.
I'm jealous. You lived my school dreams.
It was pretty cool. We did a really good roast beef roll with gravy. Oh, so good. To this day, I remember it.
So you walk in with the tray in your whatever clothes you want, as long as they're the colours.
A lot of black,
walk in with the tray, and there's just like Bain Marie's, almost like buffet style, and they just scoop out a bit of everything.
So there was like a lot of pre-made stuff, but then they had like a bunch of other stuff where you can like you could put it on a tray. It wasn't like the food separated tray that you usually see in high schools, but it was a tray in case you wanted to grab a bunch of things.
God, I'm so jealous. I didn't even know that existed in Australia.
Yep. Just my senior year.
So jealous. All right, the next question, Miss Hart. We're getting to the back end of these now. Excuse me. What quote or saying do people spout, but it's complete BS?
I thought about this one, and then like when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, this one's stupid. Live every day like it's your last. And I know me, and I would be anxious as shit. So I wouldn't do anything. I'd be sitting there paranoid, waiting for my time to go. What time will it happen? How will it happen? When will I get, so no, I will not live every day like it's my last, because it would essentially be now. We're an anxious mess. So, or, no one's going to go like crazy wild. So I just think that one's a stupid one.
That is a great quote to throw in as this response, because it is true. Like, you're meant to live free and live without fear and all that kind of stuff. But if you knew you woke up this morning and at 11:59 p.m. tonight you're dead, you would be on edge. You would be on edge, because that's it. It's real. The finality is there. And then you start thinking, okay, I've done all these things today, but did I miss something? Could I have done that better?
I've wasted my life. This is it.
That's very true. That's very true. And I'm going to jump in on the back of this and say, money can't buy you happiness.
Yeah. Bullshit.
I think there's some truth to that, but at the same time, most people that probably say this are dirt poor. So, the people that have no money right now, if they suddenly got given $20 billion, I'm sure they're going to be pretty happy with that money. Maybe it's not, in air quotes, true happiness, maybe, but it's certainly going to go a long way to helping you achieve your dreams and give you more flexibility to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, with whoever you want. Money is the devil in some regards, but at the same time, it is a godsend in others, where it can get you out of debt. It can let you experience new things. It can not only make you happier, but make your friends and family and loved ones happy. There is so much good that can come of money too. So the people that say that it can't buy you happiness, I say bullshit.
Bullshit indeed.
It's a whole heap of hooey. All right, the next question. What's something your brain tries to make you do and you have to will yourself not to do it?
Apart from the crippling self-doubt, not to eat cheese products. I know I shouldn't eat them, but my brain tells me I need to eat cheese products. So I have to will myself not to eat that cheesy pizza, not to eat dairy goods, essentially. That's
true. Mine's probably to do with holding my tongue, I think, in some regards. Especially with the social media age we're in now, where you see so many things get posted by people you might know or know through other people, and they say things, and there's so many times where I just want to go, I'm going to put you on blast, or I'm going to say this, or I feel completely different about what you're saying, and I'll go to write. I'm like, no. But that's more so maybe my heart tells me to do those things, and my head says, whoa. Curb that fire inside, because it could go very different ways that you're intending this to go. So that's one that comes to mind for me.
Technically, usually those rants usually start with, well, you know what I think. Mm-hmm. So technically it's your brain.
Yeah. So that's what I sort of deal with here and there infrequently. Okay, the next question, Miss Hart. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
I don't want any brutal truths. I don't want to know how I die. I don't want to know if so-and-so likes me. I don't want to know all those things, because the truth could hurt you more. So just give me the winning lotto numbers.
God damn it, that was my exact
happiness.
response. Exact response.
It's the only right answer, man.
Yeah, because some of those hard and final truths, you might want to know them, but once that Pandora's box is opened, life can change in many ways, and sometimes that could be for the worse. So, just going back to that money can't buy you happiness thing. Give me the winning lotto numbers for the biggest jackpot in the world, and then I can buy those truths later anyway. I'll just pay someone off to tell me the things, and I can get the happiness and spread that money amongst people that matter. So, yeah, I think it says a lot about them both. Show me the money. As we're in a hobby that you pretty much earn no money. So I guess it's a nice juxtaposition there.
Mm.
Yeah, that's an interesting one though, because one question only. That's the big thing. If I had maybe 3 wishes, it was that style, it could be different. But if it's the one thing.
It's just a question with a truthful answer.
There's not one question I've got lingering that consumes my being that I need to know the answer to. Like,
Yeah. I don't want to be told I'm
aliens
wrong.
real? Is God, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
is there a heaven? Yeah.
yeah, like that kind of stuff would not change my day to day, but that fat stack of cash certainly would. So, yeah. All right, the last question, Miss Hart. What ridiculous thing has someone tricked you into doing or believing?
I have an older brother, and he was really good at tricking me into doing a lot of things. From holding on to the clothesline, I just want to see like how far you can reach and how long you can hold on to, and then he would proceed to rope and spin it around and around and around and around. From climbing the carport that was really high. There's just a bunch of things where it was essentially him just daring me to do things or telling me to do things constantly. And luckily, no injuries. Like I said previously, no injuries. But I had a bit of an asshole brother. And like I think the worst thing was when he like told me to like do something, and then he proceeded to cover my head with a pillow. I almost died. He almost suffocated me. So
how lightly toned that was. I almost died.
Yeah, suffocate me. Yeah. So that's. Fool me once, but fool me twice, shame on me, because it happened a lot.
God, I've got like a mirrored situation to this where I had a older / I guess you could say younger uncle. Like my uncle and I are only 7 years apart, so I grew up very close to my uncle. I know we've mentioned on various podcasts, Captain Holiday and the wrestling days and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So he used to do what your brother was doing to you there, where he'd be like, yeah, just try this. It'll be fine. Don't worry. So, yeah, he was making me do things far beyond what I should be doing at, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, where it'd be, jumping off things, holding on. Yeah, the clothesline one especially, like whether it be swinging or he'd do the other one where he'd wind it up really high. So then I was really far off the ground, hanging off this thing, getting scared. Mm-hmm. So I did many things from the influence and the peer pressure that my uncle and his friends put me through. As far as like ridiculous things that I believe, this is a hard one for me because like I'm not a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but there's one thing that I'm still not 100% sold on. Like, I think it's both real and not real. And that's the moon landing.
Oh, no. Really?
Like, I believe it, but then at the same time, I'm like, why haven't we gone up there since with better technology now and better rockets? Why can't these satellites show these footprints in the flag that's still hypothetically planted there? Answer me those questions, internet, and I would be like, yeah, cool. Like, I choose to think it's happened, but I also choose to think that the government is a bit bullshitty and it was this space race between America and Russia in the 60s. They're like, fuck, let's get a broadcast out there just to show we won. So I'm like, I believe you, but then I choose to think, why haven't we gone there since? Why haven't we gone there now with all these new technology?
Money. There's so much money and a lot of people to keep quiet.
But that's why I think it could be a thing. But I also think that like I believe it and I don't believe it at the same time. It's like that Schrodinger's cat thing, where they're like, it's both live and dead at the same time. That's how I feel with this. I'm like, I believe it, but then there's a part of me going, the amount of money they piss away right now for space flights and all this other stuff, why haven't they gone there now 60 years later with better technology to better explore and whatever? Instead they're like, oh, the moon's now suddenly far too far away to do it again. It's like,
why do they need to go back? It's just a dust area. Like, it's just a thing of like rock and dust. Like, they're too focused on Mars.
Yeah, but they could drill into the moon and bring some kind of stuff
cheese
back. Some moon cheese, yeah. So that's one thing where I believe it and I don't believe it. Well, I believe it more than I don't, but there's just a part of me where I go, why haven't they gone back? Why? That's a part of me. Truth be told, I probably sound very dumb right now, but there is a piece of me where I'm like, maybe.
I do like reading conspiracy theories. Like, I love people's wild ideas and, seeing how close they can get to making me, like, think otherwise. But, yeah, for the most part, it's just for a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. So I feel old Buzz and Co. were on there, but there's a part of me where I'm like, why haven't we gone back? You can't tell me that 60 years later, the technology and the info we could probably get off this rock wouldn't be beneficial in some way. Why?
Get their rocks off. Yeah.
Get our rocks off.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's one thing where I probably make myself sound like an absolute tosser. But there's just a part of me that thinks maybe it never happened.
Maybe. Like I said, listeners, you were either going to hear a little too much about us.
Or a little too little. But it's funny because the moon landing happened on my birthday. Obviously not in the year I was born, but it was July 20 when this happened. So
we're starting to figure out when that fire happened.
Yeah. One small step for podcasting today, listeners. But yeah, this brings us to the end of this segment. We might park it here and cut to a nice transition and enjoy the rest of the show. All right, Miss Hart. So we've got a little something from Australia's John O'Peck. Obviously, writer, producer, sound engineer extraordinaire, friend of the show, friend of ours for a good long time. He's been kind enough to lend his musical talents for something that we do not know what it is. We don't know what it's about. It could be a slanderous diss track. Who knows?
I'd love to see a diss track by Jono.
Oh, he'd be like, Ali, you're not very nice. Brendan, you're just as bad. You know? He's too pure of heart, but we'll see what we've got here. So we don't really have an intro. We don't even have a lead in for this. We're just gonna drop it in because this is gonna be the first time we're gonna be listening to this as well. So listeners, let's see what Australia's John O'Peck has in store for us.
How does a random ragtag bunch of gamer nerds start a podcast? An odd idea with a nod towards an appetite for hunger. Inspire all the fire to grow into an entire network reaching higher. Staying humble, staying hungry, making time for enchiladas. Got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. From day one, this podcast was an iTunes top charter. Well, the word got around, they said this podcast is insane. Man, like Destiny and World of Warcraft, Pizza, Batman and Bane. Damn, it's everything that gamers need. Information, education, the world's gonna know your name. What's your name, man? 8-Bit's Hungry Gamers. Our name is 8-Bit's Hungry Gamers. And there's a million games we haven't played. But just you wait, just you wait.
What a little banger of a track. He was spitting lines then, JP. He was giving us his best Eminem impression there, and it was a beauty. Shout out to the enchilada and Bane references in there that I picked up on. What do you think of that one?
I was sweating bullets because of how fierce he was going. I'm like, oh no, he did write a diss track. I don't have any rebuttals, but no, it was actually really nice. He was very creative, our Jono.
He's got some skills. He's got the skills that pay all the bills. And we can add now MC to his growing list of accomplishments. And, his business card job description just grows by the daily.
It
so
really does.
You need some rap tracks. You need a guest musician to star on your upcoming tracks. Reach out to Australia's John O'Peck, DJ JP, coming at you. Master
of many works.
He's got the skills. All right, listeners. On to the next piece. All right, 8-Bit Nation, we are back with another segment for episode 250. I'm here with 2/4, half of probably my favourite women in the world. Sadly, my sister Becco and Gal Gadot couldn't make the podcast, but obviously I've got Miss Ali Hart with me riding shotgun, and we've also got a very special guest here, first-time podcaster, long-time listener, my mum, Mumma Loz. Welcome to the Hungry Gamers Studios. How the bloody hell are you?
I'm so good. I'm so honoured to be here today. Finally got invited. Hello, hello, hello.
Apple foot doesn't fall too far. You are technically the reason why this podcast exists.
Oh, that's true. I'll take that. Thanks, Ellie.
And full disclosure, I think the invite was partially forced, I must say, with 250 coming up. One of the first things she said, mentioned me like, I want to be on. I'm coming on the show. I'm on 250. I'm making it happen. I'm like, all right, yep, no worries, Mum. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. We'll slot you in.
No question about it.
Yeah. She's a very, very strong-willed woman here. But yeah, it's exciting to have you on the podcast, old girl. I know we've been trying to hook up an episode of the Hungry Game Show for a while, and that's still in the works. But you need to dust off your Twisted Metal skills beforehand.
I do.
That's still on the back burner. But yeah, we thought it could be fun with 250 to get you on as a special guest and talk gaming, talk some origin stories. And I know Miss Hart's prepared a couple of questions to throw your way, and we can just sort of riff and have a bit of fun and end with a couple of other cool things. How's that sound to you guys?
That sounds great. Hit me up.
Sounds
yep, I'm
great.
ready. Yeah.
Few
Can't wait.
curious questions about the old Brendan.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's nothing too
I
bad.
have stories to tell, Ellie. Lots of stories.
To be honest, it couldn't be any worse than the stories that Brendan tells himself.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The
I figure
TMI.
if I can control the narrative, it's better. If I can get out ahead of these stories and just own them, there's less chance of blowback and criminal action to be taken against me. So yeah,
Jeez.
it's just how I roll.
That's very true. Very true.
All
Let's
right.
add some.
All right, what do you got? What do you got for me? Where are we going with this, Miss Hart? Where did you want to point this ship? What are you thinking?
To be honest, it wasn't going to be anything too bad. They're more very wholesome things, very essentially the building of history of Brendan, right? And who would know it better than Mumma? So, first question: do you remember what Brendan's first console was?
Ooh. It'd be the Nintendo, for sure.
Yeah.
Which one though?
The one that we played Donkey Kong on.
Oh,
That's true, but which version of Donkey Kong then?
The original?
Nope.
I think she's done really well.
Thanks, Ellie.
You have done really
You
well.
saved me.
Do you remember when I got it?
Oh, let me think. You probably would have been about 8 or 9, I think.
No, it was
you weren't
younger.
No, I don't think you were
It
younger.
was Christmas. It was Christmas of, I think, 92.
Oh,
Very treasured
93?
memory.
okay.
Yep.
Let's say
But
6.
But Santa Claus, I think. I can't remember if Santa or Mum and Dad got us the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah.
The rule in
That's
our house
true.
was the
That's
expensive gift was definitely from the parents. All the other gifts were from Santa.
Santa doesn't get that praise.
No, he doesn't get that
Poor
on
old
us.
Santa.
Yeah. So it was the SNES, and we played a lot of the old Super Mario All-Stars pack-in that was in there, and then obviously Donkey Kong Country is what you're referring
Donkey
to
Kong
there.
Country. Yeah.
That is a classic. That's adorable.
I used to
All
whoop my
right.
butt on Super Mario all the time.
I still would today.
Yeah. Which,
I
Need
don't
to-
hold
we-
back.
no,
Maybe we'll organise a rematch.
no. Never let me win.
Second question.
Second
What
question.
was the one game Brendan constantly played when he was younger? Like he was always playing it. You always heard it in the background.
Okay, so yeah, Super Mario was for ages, and after that it'd be Mortal Kombat with Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's on
Love
brand.
Jurassic Park, yeah, and Mortal Kombat, yeah, all the time. Those probably would be the 3. He did try to sneak in the good old Grand Theft Auto,
Oh.
but when I figured out what it actually was about, that didn't last very long.
How'd you sneak it in? Was it a blockbuster rental, like a Video Easy rental, or?
Well, I
tried to
used to
sneak-
work at Video 2000 in Cooma back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah. So I used to bring home all the games, all the movies, everything.
It's the best.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
pretty awesome.
So Brendan could just sort of put his order in, and I'd get it, but I didn't know what Grand Theft Auto was about at the time. And after I gave it to him to play, a customer came in and told me what it was about. So that didn't last long. That went back on the shelf as quick as.
No harm in trying. I
Yeah.
tried to do that as well to my mum, but she found that out pretty quickly. But you're cooler than my mum. I wasn't allowed to play Mortal Kombat.
Oh, really?
But see, I've got to interject
wow.
here. I've got to interject here because your parents were consistent, at least. Like, there was a blanket statement of, like, you know, no violence, no crudeness and stuff when you were kiddos. Where, see, I couldn't play Grand Theft Auto, but I could watch Hellraiser or Pet Sematary or, like, movies with sex scenes and violence and horror. I could watch the stuff, but heaven forbid I control a character that does some of those things in games.
Exactly. You liked what I liked, basically.
Yeah, but then I couldn't play it.
No, you couldn't
I
play
could
it.
watch it. I could
That's
probably
right.
watch you play it, but I couldn't play it.
That's right. It's good parenting right there.
Yeah.
Oh, watch Mum
My
kill
rules.
someone on the sidewalk.
My house, my rules.
Yeah, she used to run over so many prostitutes, it was ridiculous. Just out there making a buck.
Yeah.
Honest work.
Yeah. Buying some crack on the corner. Yeah, I'm cruising around.
Yeah, no, I remember those days. I got Grand Theft Auto to play that for, I reckon maybe I had it for about a week.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
then
long.
it was.
Yeah.
That's
She
actually
did
a
the same
good
with
time.
the self-titled Slipknot album when I bought that.
Yes. Yes.
Was it that bad, was it?
The reason that got taken away is because my younger sister Beck decided to look at the album and in the booklet it had like F it all, F this world, that whole big slogan that they had, and that was enough for that to get taken away. But my mum bought me Rage Against the Machine's debut album when I was like 6, and it was, you know, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, on repeat for like 3 minutes. So it's here we go with the inconsistencies again.
I liked Rage Against the Machine.
But Slipknot, no.
No, I didn't like Slipknot.
If Mum likes it, it stays.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm so broken, because I was just inconsistent parenting. Do this today, don't do it tomorrow. Now you can do it again. F words are fine as long as it's coming from someone in a mask. You know, like,
As long as it's not coming from someone in a mask.
yeah.
I love it. All
What can I say?
right. Oh, well, this question kind of goes into like what we just talked about. Was there any games that Brendan would play and they would just annoy you?
Well, every game that Brendan played annoyed me because he'd always get really angry. And
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
And
been on the
throw the
receiving-
controller at the TV. Yeah. Storm off, come back, try again, same thing. Yeah. So probably every single game that Brendan played, if he didn't win, he got angry. Yeah. And he's still like that today.
I'm
know.
a bit better these days, thank you.
Not much.
Are you? Are you really?
I don't throw things at the TV anymore.
Ask him what he did with the vacuum cleaner this last night.
Oh, Brendan, what
That
did
could
you
go a
do
whole
with
heap of
the-
ways.
I was trying
told you
I'm
not
like,
to disturb
I'm like,
when
do
I'm
I
cleaning my
behave
room?
because do I behave because Mum's here? So I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Like,
it
oh,
hurt
Brendan,
though,
what did
I'll
you
tell
do
you
with
that
the
much. Whatever I did, it hurt. So,
Did
Yeah.
toe.
yeah. I guess the cat's out of the bag. My my RoboVac, the laser sensor in it's playing up, and I've been fixing it on and off, and it works for a period of time, and then it spazzes out and stops working. And yesterday, I was late afternoon. You were still on. Like I thought you were still coming, so I was like getting work done, trying to clean the house a bit, and the RoboVac was spacking out, and it wouldn't work. I took it apart, rebuilt it again, wouldn't work, and it just stopped and was like, error, and I went up to it and I just kicked the damn thing, and it was like kicking a boulder. And yeah, I thought I broke my big toe, but yeah, anyway. I
Skynet,
vented
man.
my frustration to Amazon. They said, yep, we're going to take it back and we'll give you full refunds. So thanks, Amazon.
And then they go to your Twitter feed and see something about you kicking the robot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you not
Sorry,
learned?
Brendan.
Yeah, so there was no pleasure with the RoboVac, that's for sure. It does have a mopping option though, so that could be fun.
All right. What is one of Brendan's favorite games now? Do you know what his favorite games are?
I know he did like Valhalla. He
Like
liked-
Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that one.
Yeah.
I know you. I probably know more about you, Ali. Miss Destiny
Oh, really?
Girl.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you and all the poor listeners every time I talk about Destiny.
Yeah, don't
My
get you started
bad.
on Destiny.
Yeah.
Let me think. What was that? Give me a hint.
There's a big poster literally behind me that you're looking straight at.
Oh. That would be Horizon Zero Dawn, Ali.
That is correct.
That's a good hint. I'm sitting there going, it's literally framing me in the shot out of the camera here.
To be honest, I was kind of like, I'm asking this question, but literally surrounded by all these favorite stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be too easy. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my baby.
What your favorites?
Love that game.
I think you do talk about so many games, I just get so confused as to what's the latest, you know.
It's one of the good and the bad things about this pod is trying to stay relevant and up to date with all these releases can be tough for us both, I think, at times, where whether it be a financial thing or a time management thing, it's not always easy to get the time to put in to then give valid critiques on so many of these games coming out. So it's good. Like, we're never going to complain about getting sent free game keys and stuff to try and test these things out. That's phenomenal. But yeah, it's tough when you know you're working to a deadline. It can impact the fun, I think, of that game too, where you go, shit, I got to finish this in 3 days or whatever. Yeah. So you get this unnecessary stress that comes off the back of that. I know that's like first world problems, but yeah, it can be tough.
Do you think by doing that you get the full experience though? You know, because you're so stressed about finishing it in a short amount of time, do you think you actually get the full experience?
I think you're right in the sense that when you get pressured, like you got that time crunch, I think it does burden you with fully enjoying the game because you're like, I've just got to finish it. So you don't do the exploring that you would normally do. You wouldn't like take in a lot of the atmosphere, music, maybe as much as you would if you just got to enjoy the game at the pace you'd want to. So yeah, I definitely think it tarnishes a bit of the what would have been a genuine experience. You're right.
Very true. But there's worse things we could be doing with our time. We could be buying crack on the corners and getting run over because we're prostitutes. So,
or hanging out with the vacuum.
That's true. But it's got a mop mode. Can clean up my mess.
Oh my god!
I've been thinking about getting one, but all right. Now, do you have any favorite games?
Yes. Yeah. I have a couple. First one is Twisted Metal World Tour.
Wow.
Back in the day,
yeah,
I rocked that game. I loved that game. I still love that game.
Who was your character? Who'd you like playing with?
Yeah, I used to. Firstly, I hated the ice cream dude. What's his name?
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth. I hated him, but loved the series it's on now.
Great show on Netflix.
Oh,
yeah.
And you know, there's actually a Twisted Metal show. I think it's getting made for Netflix about Sweet Tooth the Clown, coming out soon.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh, we all over that. Yeah. It just depends on the day, but mainly I used to do the tank dude. What's his name? Warthog. Yeah, I liked Warthog, and I liked the dude in like the Mad Max dude.
Roadkill.
Thank you. Yeah, fully invested here, as you can tell.
Brendan's a Rolodex of names.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so Mortal Kombat also. Loved Mortal Kombat.
Miss Hart, have a guess who she used to main in Mortal Kombat. Who do you think old Mumma Loz here played as her main on Mortal Kombat?
Sonya Blade?
No.
She's like, get it right.
Okay, fair enough.
Try again, Ellie.
I don't know, because like I love a lot of the characters there, but I'm trying to think like who would you enjoy? Like who's the most fun to play? But like if anyone with like fire is fun, but I'm a Sindel main.
Ooh, okay. No, it was Raiden.
Oh, yeah, lightning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raiden all day, every day, Raiden.
Can you do his sound when he does his moves?
I How's that?
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you know how to do fatalities?
Some. Brendan begrudgingly showed me some. Yeah, so some.
I think I did it with a smile.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
No, you were good. You were really good, actually. Yeah. So some fatalities, yeah. Yeah, I nailed. Yeah. I've played it recently and, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I got back into it with the old Raiden. Yeah.
The new one? The new
No.
version?
No.
Oh.
You got a PlayStation 3, right?
Yeah. So back in the day, yeah, still have that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'll have to show
That's
you
good.
the new Mortal Kombat on the Xbox maybe today. And you can have a look at that and see what you think.
Very
Oh,
nice.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love
It
to.
looks very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
a lot of guts.
Great. I love guts.
I probably won't be able to play. I'll just have to watch. So, too violent for you. You sit and watch.
Yeah. And Jurassic Park also. I love that. Yeah. It just took forever. We never finished the game.
Yeah, that
We could
game.
never finish that game.
There was no way to save the game and come back later. You had to
about
let the SNES run the entire time. And there was a few times, it was tough as hell, this game. And there was a few times where it felt like we probably got to like the final act. And 2 out of those 3 times the SNES froze. So I had to reset it and send it like you lost all your progress.
Yeah.
So frustrating. But it was weird because it went from first person when you go into buildings, and then it pivoted to this weird like cartoony third person when you're just walking around the park. It was this weird contrast between the two, but it was fun, but it was so friggin' tough.
It was really tough. Yeah.
The games were really like difficult like back then, and now it's pretty straightforward. Just follow a little blip on your map now. So they were all struggle. Ghostbusters was a pain in the butt for me. I always had
Oh,
issues
like
with
on
that one.
the NES, the old school one on the NES.
I was a Sega kid, so
Okay, yeah, that was a cracker though. I remember the map where you'd sort of almost like play Pac-Man to get to the areas in the Ecto 1, and then you do your battles. That was a good game.
and then all the ghosts collected, and the Marshmallow Man would start like, yeah. Okay, and are there any games that you would like to play? Like maybe you're a bit daunted by how, difficult it might be, or maybe you don't have access to the game. So is there any games that you've kind of seen that you kind of been a bit interested in playing?
I still want to I heard you talking about Silent Hill the other day. And I know it's old school, but that game scared the bejesus out of me, and I'd still like to go back. Hopefully, if they bring in this new one that you guys were talking about, I'd like to give that a go. Yeah. Silent
think
Hill.
it's
I like
good.
all those sort of horror-themed games. Yeah, or cutesy games. I'm not really in the middle. It's one end or the other.
That's a really good spectrum. Just to be like super, super cute, because then you can play the horror games, and then you can like cleanse your palate and go to the cute games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's probably one that I'd like to get into. Yeah. And that was after listening to you guys talking about it, because it made me reimagine, playing it back in the day. And so I'd like to give that a go.
Did you watch
Now.
the movie?
Yeah.
Silent Hill?
Watched
Yeah.
them both. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
One of the better
They're awesome.
game adaptations, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Pretty gruesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Favorite part's the old skin rip
Yeah.
and then just tossed at the door.
Tossed it at the door. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
The
that
monsters
thing.
in that are just incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah. Really well thought out and original.
yeah. And Sean Bean dies again.
Or Sean Bean.
Spoilers. Although that's
It's just a
Sean
given
Bean
with him.
dying is a given. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
It is.
Actually, he survived the other day. We watched a movie. Sorry, unrelated. We watched. I showed Mum this sort of horror sci-fi called Possessor.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a bit of an acid trip of a movie where, like, it's set sort of present day, but the way assassinations can work in this day and age is you can actually abduct people and sort of almost embed your psyche into them, so you can play as them or play as people to then commit crimes for you. So there's like this, there's these scenes where they take control of a family member to then kill the head matriarch of this company for power plays in the background.
Yeah.
And Sean Bean is, I guess you could say he's the antagonist because he's a bit of a prick.
He is, yeah.
Like he's a billionaire, rich tycoon, assholey dude, and he's in this as well. But it's such a artsy Really, really cool looking movie just from the aesthetics and some crazy, crazy kills. Really, really gory and vivid moments where people are getting killed in some pretty gross ways.
They don't shy away from anything, do they?
No. And the ending, it was just like, holy shit.
Yep.
Spoilers, Sean Bean lives.
It was on another level, that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds gruesome enough for me. I'll have to write that one down.
Possessor, yeah. Came out last year.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
It'll be on
I think you
something.
dig it. I think you dig it. It's very different to a lot of the stuff out there at the moment.
Have you played the Resident Evil games? Because Brendan's a big fan of the Resident Evil games.
No, I haven't played them, Ellie. I used to watch Brendan play and get right into it. I've watched a lot of the movies, but I haven't actually played the game. Yeah, that was more Brendan's thing than mine. Yeah, but I used to enjoy watching him play. Yeah, and get angry.
Surprise.
There's a theme here.
Yeah.
I sense there's a theme here.
We're
I
gonna have
used
to
to love
organize.
those games.
Yeah, gotta have to organize you to play more of the recent ones. Because I think the recent ones are pretty good. They're pretty nice. The village was really pretty.
Yeah, maybe we'll put you in Resident Evil 7 and you can play it in VR.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Give that a go.
All right.
Oh,
Set up a film day.
That's all my questions wrapped up. So I don't know if you want to move on to something else.
Have you got any questions for us? I know I know you've got something you want to say as well, which we'll sort of bookend the episode with, but have you got any questions or things you want to throw our way before we jump into something I've got prepared?
I do actually. When you guys are putting the content together, do you take into account the older generation? You know, people like myself who is interested in it but not fully immersed in it. Do you try and sort of lure us in with some of the content that you put out?
The funny thing is by saying older, generation of people enjoying games, I just always put me in that based on how time has gone on, and I'm just watching the generation of gamers get younger and younger and younger. So I'm like, oh, we are the old generation.
Yeah, we're sort of on the cusp, aren't we? Really, like I
guess.
And we're not saying you're old by any means. Like, you look at the statistics, the demographics now. Gamers are getting older and older, and it's good to see there's more of an even split between male and female gamers as well. Like, the market is getting more open as the years go by, but not really from an age perspective. I think it's more so we try and talk about it in a way that's accessible to everybody. We're not thinking, if grandma or granddad listened to this, they'd understand what a teraflop is or whatever. But I think the way we try and talk about games, you get informed, but you get entertained is I guess the main focus of what we do. So we get deep on some things and talk on sensitive topics and things. But I think, at least in my head, we always try and discuss it in a way that even someone that doesn't play games could understand what we're talking about most of the time, I think.
Yeah. I hope we do elaborate on certain topics a little bit better than just assuming everyone knows what we're talking about, because we can be victims to that and just assume everyone's a gamer, they know what we're talking about. So maybe we could be a little bit more conscious to make sure we're not making assumptions on topics that we're talking about. But for the most part, I think we always just approach articles in a way of just friends chatting. So we always hope that kind of gets projected out to listeners, that it's just we're all having a conversation about something. So just opinions, whether you care about them or not.
And it absolutely does. That's exactly how it comes across, Ali. It's just like two buddies, riffing, having a great time, but putting it in layman's terms so that people, like I said, myself, can understand and relate to and laugh along and have a good time with you. So thank you. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you. That's nice. Good praise. Good praise coming from a mama. Thank
Definitely.
you.
The best praise.
Have you got any other questions you want to throw at us?
Okay. So since you first started the podcast back in the day, all those years ago, have you got any moments during the podcast that you regret saying?
Oh, far too many. Far too many.
Probably.
I don't think they're regrets that I lose sleep over, but there's times where I know I probably say things sometimes that I shouldn't, but that's just how I am, where maybe I do overshare, or I get on a little soapbox and just go for the jugular of certain things. But it always comes from a good place. So after I brood on it for a minute and go, ooh, should I edit that? And that's one thing I like with this show is we don't edit or censor ourselves. Like outside of certain words used for profanity, like we try and just be ourselves and let it go. So it's always, you're always going to get an honest impression, whether that impression or opinion's right or wrong is another thing, but it's always going to be honest and from the heart, I think. So there's many things where I look back and go, oh boy, but it's out there and that's just how we are.
I like to think that I'm pretty good, where I know that very recently I said I had no caring about something, whether it was a movie, game, TV show or something, and then I watched it and I literally had to come back on the podcast and say I was wrong. It was great. So I always tried to be honest that if I was wrong about something, I admit to it. So I try. As a person that, doesn't enjoy one of the most popular game franchises out there, I try to be honest, but, open-minded.
Yeah. I think we're pretty good at keeping ourselves accountable for the most part, I think.
For the most part.
Whether... Yeah, we do throw a hot take out there and then, consume that content later and go, holy crap, yeah, we were very wrong. This is actually really good. Yeah. Would you agree? As a listener, or is there things that you've heard us say where you're like, whoa, Ali, or whoa, Brenda, what did you say that for?
Oh, there's plenty of things, Brendan, that I've heard you say that I thought, oh, no. Ali, not so much. But no, that's exactly how it comes across, is the honesty and the integrity, doing what you believe in. And it comes across in just such a cool, fun way. Yeah. I think everyone respects and, has a great time is what I do. Yeah. So I think you guys are doing a great job. Awesome job.
Thanks.
No, really. Yeah. Yeah.
We're still learning, even though we're 250 episodes in. I think we're still very much learning.
How many years?
Which is cool to say.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, never stop.
No.
Never stop,
No.
Yeah.
What else? You got anything else?
Okay. The one question that you guys won't answer, but how long do you see you guys doing this for?
I think... it's that whole how long's a piece of string. I think once the fun stops, the show will stop.
Yeah.
And as we've said here now and on a lot of other podcasts, it's great to just catch up with one of my good friends every week and talk gaming and have a laugh. And, the content is almost secondary because it's a good excuse to say, hey, what's happening? What's new in your world? Tell me what's happened over on your side of the globe and vice versa. So once...
Yeah.
As long as that's there and that fun's there, I think it'll keep going. Numbers and everything like that's awesome, and it's great we've got such a good listener base that tune in every week. But I think the passion and the fun's the big part. The second that wanes, I think we'd probably both be like, we're not feeling anymore. Let's put a pin in it, But
yeah,
that's my thoughts on it. What about you, Mally?
Yeah, essentially, like you said, it's just like a good excuse for just us to hang out and talk. Like, you're lucky that we actually press record. So, this is essentially just a conversation of just like two friends. But I guess we want everyone out there to feel included as well. So, I guess like you said, I guess when it stops being fun or it feels like a chore, I guess then we would look at it. But yeah, until that comes around, I guess, not anytime soon.
Yeah, so who knows? It's 250 episodes now. Who knows where it could go? We could be talking here at episode 1000, or we could, in 3 weeks' time go, you know what? Let's do something else. Who knows? But as long as the fun keeps happening, the show will keep going.
Well, it comes across as it's not going to happen anytime soon because you guys always have fun with the podcast, and that really comes through. Yeah,
a little too much fun. A little too much
TMI.
Too much fun.
All right. I want to toss a couple of quick questions to you, and then we'll start up a little segment I got prepared.
Oh, dear.
So, obviously, you're now a podcasting aficionado. You're an expert in the field. If you could start a podcast tomorrow, what would your podcast be on and why?
Okay. Probably because I now too have found my passion, and that is my work. So it would be on, this is probably going to sound really weird, but it would be on the aging population. And I specifically work in dementia, so I'm an assistant nurse in a aged care facility in the dementia unit. And so it would probably be lots and lots of stories about what I experience every day, the good, the bad, all the in-between. So it would probably be that. Yeah, because I think that would open people's eyes and be able to see those people as people, because not a lot of people do that, that I get to see. Yeah, so it would probably be on that, so that, they have a voice, I suppose. I could be their voice when they can't, yeah.
I think it'd be a good listen. It'd be a tough listen sometimes, just from some of the stories you've shared with me of the things you've seen.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the easiest content to consume all the time, but I think honest content rarely is. So
that's exactly right. Yeah.
So and it is a area of society that doesn't get enough love. You hear the horror stories all the time of mistreatment of patients and this, that, the other, all the goddamn time. And maybe something like that could, give a voice to those that some of them literally can't speak anymore. So
Exactly.
It would be great to lift that area up and shine a light on some of the shit and some of the good stuff. Well, a lot of the good stuff that you people on that front line are doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's lacking is not, you don't hear the good stuff. You only hear about the elderly being abused by this person or that person, but you don't hear all those good stories that happen there. And I think that's something that needs to be told. So definitely.
That'd be nice. What would you call it? What would you call your podcast?
Ooh. Maybe Who Am I Now?
Okay.
Something like that.
It's not bad.
Or
Never Forget.
yeah, or How You See Me, is it how I really am, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they work.
There you go.
like
You
'em.
get your little recording rig and you can get started.
Thanks. Yeah. I don't know if it'll hit too many people, but anyway.
You never know. You never know what's going to go viral and pop off these days.
That's true.
Right place, right time. It could go. That's a bit exciting.
Yeah.
And my last question, bringing it back to gaming, of all the movie franchises and TV shows and things that you consume, you're a consumer of media, just like Ali and myself. What would you like to see turned into a video game? Like, what's a movie or show you've watched and go, ooh, I could play the hell out of that if that was a video game?
Okay. Okay, probably. I know I mentioned this before, but I think Sweet Tooth, the series that's on, would be beautiful to play as a video game. I think the graphics would be awesome. The characters would be awesome. So many different little animal kids, animal babies. So I think that would be awesome. Yeah. So I'd like to see that translated.
I could see that work.
pretty.
Maybe like in a sort of Fable sort of style. That kind of art style, third person, little action RPG.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the show, but I've obviously seen the trailers, and the show looks absolutely beautiful. So it would be perfect for like the fantasy genre, and then obviously with the graphic fidelity that they have available now, it would be wonderful. And the main thing would be being immersed in the universe and being able to like open world. I would assume you would play open world, so you get to like just adventure on.
I can see that too.
Yeah, it's such a cool spin on the whole post-apocalyptic thing that gets done all the time. It's really fun. It's funny too. I didn't even know that it was a graphic novel, and that's what it got converted from to the TV show. So,
Yeah.
It's really cool. Really cool. I'd give that a go.
You would?
Yeah, use his little slingshot, take down some enemies.
Yeah, I think it would be a
your
great
kind of
game.
Eat some candy bars. Hang out with the big man.
With the big man. Love the big man.
All right. Well, if you don't have any other questions for us, I will quickly jig up a little ditty that I'm bringing back from the dead.
Oh dear.
What?
So you can get your little prep work put away because I'm going to take you through something first.
Okay.
We're bringing it back, listeners. The game show that stops a nation. We are talking about none other than... Clan or Sham is back for potentially one night only, or one day only, depending on when you're consuming this content. It's actually one morning only for us right now. It is 9:44 a.m. on Saturday, the 24th of July, and about 4:44 p.m. on Friday, the 23rd of July, over in the Americanas. So, Clan or Sham, Ma, do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is, Brendan.
And you said you called yourself a listener. I call that a bloody
nightmare.
sham.
It's my worst nightmare.
So listeners, and for Mum here, Clan or Sham is where I'm going to name a series of, in air quotes, professional esports teams. Do you know what esports is?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to name, in air quotes, a series of professional esports teams, and you need to decide if these names of the teams that I am mentioning here are in fact real clans, like professional clans, or if it's a sham, so it's one that I've made up and they don't exist.
Okay.
So these teams in question, I am talking about teams that play Apex Legends currently. So these are part of Apex Legends orgs.
Okay.
So it's going to be fun. I've got five teams here. The way you reacted, Miss Hart, I think it seems like you might be up to date with this, and
I actually
might
watched
know.
the AGLS. This is bad though. The one time I was not versing like my mortal enemies where I'd always get like beaten.
Yes, no, Salim the Dream here to rub salt into the wounds, but feel free to rub a bit of salt into Mumma Loz's wounds. It sounds like I've dealt you a bit of a losing hand not knowing, so I'm sorry.
I may be getting
I'm confident.
too...
I can do this.
Yeah, watch me flab this. It's
Okay.
it's only inevitable.
Okay, so we'll start things off. I'll toss it to you first, Mum. You're the guest, so you've just got to decide if it's clan or sham, and then I'll toss it across to Ali, and then we'll confirm who's correct, who's incorrect, and then so on and so forth.
Okay.
So fairly simple. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, the first team I'm going to send your way, Mumma Loz, is Team Rice Krispies Treats. Is that a clan or a sham?
Okay, I'm going. That's a sham.
Okay, what's your reasoning behind that being a sham?
The name just sounds ridiculous.
Okay, it's fair. It's fair. Miss Hart, Team Rice Krispies Treats. Are you going a clan or a sham?
I think they're a clan.
Final answers for both parties here?
Yeah, I'm locking it in.
Okay, we're going to start with Mumma Loz, who's went with sham.
You lose!
Oh.
Good day, sir!
So obviously that means
Flawless victory.
Miss Hart gets the point there. Team Rice Krispies Treats are a real clan. They play in the North American League. They've currently had 54 matches in total with 9 top 3 finishes.
Wow. Okay.
All right. The next clan, Mumma Loz. Team Nestle. Team Nestle. Are they a clan or are they a sham?
So I'm going sham again.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely sham.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure on this one.
Okay.
Sham.
I respect that confidence.
Thank you.
Miss Hart, are you going clan or sham with Team Nestle?
I think she's right. I think it's a sham.
You going both sham? Final answers?
Final answer.
You can't handle the truth!
You are both incorrect.
Really?
Team Nestle is also a real clan playing in that same league that Team Rice Krispies Treats play in. They've had 53 matches with 5 top 3 finishes to date.
Okay.
Team Nestle.
Okay.
Team Nestle.
Okay, so we've got the food theme going on here.
Yep, you've caught on. We've got the theme.
Yep.
Okay, the next clan, Mumma Loz. Team Doritos. Or Team Doritos for those not aware of the in-joke.
Okay.
Team Doritos.
I'm sticking with sham here.
You're sticking with sham? Doritos are a pretty big brand, but you're going to stick with sham?
They are pretty... Yeah, I am.
Okay. Miss Hart, Team Doritos, clan or sham?
I'm gonna say it's a clan just because it's Doritos.
Okay. Miss Hart, your response.
You suck.
You are incorrect. Team Doritos is indeed Mumma Loz, a clan. You are now on 1 point each. 1 point each. So Team Doritos is a sham. Which sucks because I love Doritos. And they deserve to be a professional clan.
With French onion dip.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, don't
Okay,
get me started about that.
You don't know about that.
No, don't get me started about that.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, the second last clan here.
Okay.
Mumma Loz, Team Pop Tarts. Are they a clan or are they a sham? Team Pop Tarts.
I'm going clan.
You're gonna go clan with Team Pop Tarts.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Final answer. Lock it in, clan.
Lock it in.
Okay, Miss Hart, Team Pop Tarts. You going clan? You shamming?
Yeah, I think she's right. I think it is a clan.
You going clan? Okay. Let's see if you guys are both right or both wrong.
That is correct.
You are indeed both correct. Obviously, part of that same North American League. 54 matches to date, with 6 of those being top 3 finishes. Team Pop Tarts coming through with the goods. And the last one, and we're on a 2-all draw right now. So you guys could take the same answer and win, like equally, and split the victory, or you could be divisive and put it all on this last one to win or lose. Do you want the full glory or do you want to share the bickies? All right, Mumma Loz, Team Kinder Surprise. Team Kinder Surprise, clan or sham?
I'm going. I think I'm going to go sham.
You're going to go sham?
Yeah. I know they're big, but no, I'm going to go sham.
Final answer, you lock it in sham?
I'm locking in sham.
Okay. Miss Hart, what are you going to do? You're going to take the field goal and tie this one out regardless, or are you going to go for the glory play, or do you know that this is in fact a clan or a sham?
I don't know if 100% like whether this is a clan or a sham. I'm not familiar with it, so part of me wants to say sham and possibly share the bickies.
No one's ever going to complain about share and bickies.
Hope we like Tim Tams.
She hates Tim Tams.
Oh,
she hates Tim Tams.
No. What? Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
She hates Tim Tams.
Gay.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so un-Australian.
Hates them. Every type too. It's not just she hates the more unique limited flavors. She hates the original, the double coat, the caramel, the white, the mint. You name it. She's not a Tim Tam gal.
No.
I'm going to rock the boat then. I'm going to say it is a clan.
So she's saying you don't deserve the bickies if she's winning them. You don't deserve to split these.
I might not win. I might not win.
That's true.
You might be taking your Tim Tams and going home, Ali.
And I will enjoy them.
What if I did a bit of a twist here and said the winner gets a packet of Tim Tams?
Oh,
So only
Ali
one
can have the
person will
bickies.
enjoy that win.
Exactly. It just means more Tim Tams for me. So I'm the winner here. Okay, so you're locking in sham for Team Kinder Surprise. Miss Hart, what are you going to go with? You're going to go with clan?
It's a clan.
Okay, so we're going to get a clear winner. All right. Miss Hart, you're going clan, Team Kinder Surprise.
The price is wrong, bitch.
No,
You are
no Tim
indeed
Tams.
incorrect. So you know what that means. Mumma Loz, the undefeated clan or sham champion. So obviously Team Kinder Surprise is not a real clan. I think predominantly, if you sort of thought about this from like a, you got granular with these brands. All 4 of those other brands are American-based, where Kinder is European. So that could have been your little,
Nestle's
red
American?
herring.
Mm-hmm.
Kinder, I'm pretty sure it's European.
No, Nestle. That's American?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought they were Australian.
I thought they were like from England or like Europe.
We don't get caught up in those semantics. I could be very wrong. Some of the other brands in this league, there was a Team Pringles. There was, I think, a Red Bull or a Rockstar. One of the energy drinks or Monster.
It's like Rockstar or Monster, yeah. Yeah, there's like this whole weird category where it's all foods and drinks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah, that's the kind of league I want to play in, a food and drink league. So there you go. Mumma Loz, you are the current carryover clan or sham champion. God knows when this game will ever get brought back, but
Who knows whenever I'll win.
one day.
One day.
One day.
I'm loving this game.
You're loving it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now you can start watching some Apex Legends leagues to get up to date with these teams for future.
I think I might have to. Yeah.
Which one of those teams are you going to barrack for?
Probably I like Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
So probably
Team Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
They do well.
Fair.
They do well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Them and
You
Rice
could go for
Krispies.
Doritos, yeah.
They're not a real clan, though.
Oh, that's right. They're not a real clan.
I'd make the
That's right.
clan. I'd be the coach of Team Doritos, Team
you would.
Doritos.
You would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our jerseys would just be orange.
But with
ugly
like
orange.
white with like the orange. Like,
Oh yeah,
fingerprint.
with like chip residue all over them. Yeah, they'd be white with like as if someone's gone like this with chip fingers. All right, so that brings us to the end of that part of the festivity. So you've said you've prepared a little ditty for us. So we have no idea what this is, what this entails, what this encompasses. But the floor is yours, Mumma Loz. Do with it as you see fit.
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Ali. Okay, so firstly, it's the biggest congratulations, both of you guys, on 250 episodes. Congratulations. Okay, for me, as Brendan's mum, as just an average listener, but for me, for Brendan's mum, I've watched this podcast and the 8-Bit Collective grow over the years, and it really shows that you guys have dedication, loyalty and passion, and you put in the hard work, but you guys make it look really, really easy. And the thing is that we, as followers, and do not see all the research, the editing, the meetings, or the days when you're feeling sick and tired, or you have personal things going on that obviously, you don't bring that to air, but you're still here. You come in with a smile on your face and a genuine friendship that translates into a beautiful podcast that's fully entertaining, funny, inclusive, and a finger on the pulse too, with all the knowledge of the games and whatnot. So I just want to say thank you from me. As an older person, as an older listener.
You're still in your prime.
An ancient person.
You're a fine wine, Mumma Loz.
But somebody who isn't a gamer, but this podcast makes me want to play games. I think Ali and I mentioned before about the Animal Crossing. And Ali, it was because of you, honestly, talking about Animal Crossing that I actually ventured into that game, because you got me so excited, because you were so excited about playing it. So it took me back to being a kid. It made me happy, and it took me away from things that were going on in my life that maybe weren't too, fantastic, or day-to-day grind of things, So thank you. And also, I don't feel like I'm left out of this podcast. You are inclusive to everybody. You have all different varieties of things that you talk about. So if it was just gaming related, I maybe wouldn't be as involved or invested as what I am. But because you guys talk about all number of things, it makes me feel, included, and it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. So I just wanted to share that. And also I want to say, okay. So I want to say, here's to more of Brendan sharing all of his true honest opinions on everything from gaming, movies, the latest TV series, to chicken wings, strawberry, chocolate or caramel donuts, or who makes the best burgers. And here's to more of Ali for her honest opinion on hot dog drinks, Destiny, and for keeping Brendan contained when he gets all too fired up, which happens on the reg. But well done, guys. You make this mama so proud. Keep doing what you're doing, because you are both an inspiration to many, and you give your followers something to look forward to every week. When the way things are with COVID, we need a fun, entertaining escape more than ever. So well done to both of you, and chef's kiss. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I mean, and thanks for having me on. It means a lot. It really does. So thank
It's
you.
been wonderful having you on. I can't believe you had to force your way on, Brendan.
I did
Hey,
have to.
we've been trying to do THGS for a little while. The door is open for anybody, but yeah, some just get a little scared to walk through. But it's been late but worth the wait. I think getting you on the show, and those words were beautiful and very touching, and we appreciate that. And it's nice to hear that. Like, I know it's hard to not feel that it's a little biased because you're my mum. I know you're an honest lady to a fault sometimes. So what you're saying there, I believe. You know, I know you're not just trying to fluff us up and sort of fill us with false promises. It's all honest and from the heart, and
Absolutely.
very appreciative of that, and very appreciative of the time you've given us and all the other listeners, the time they give us on the reg, because yeah, we're just two kids that grew up gaming that like to talk about gaming and talk about a whole host of other things that are far too inappropriate for most conversations, but we do it. And no, that was really sweet and beautiful, and we love you.
I love you too. Love you too. Yeah, it's great. It's I mean it. It's great to listen to every week, and it's something to look forward to every week. Yeah, because you never know what's going to come up.
Neither do we.
Neither do we.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of doing this kind of stuff with the people that you love and you adore and admire and appreciate and respect. It makes it fun, makes it exciting, because the news that we might cover could be a depressing piece of crap, but we always somehow manage to find a positive spin. Maybe not in that story, but certainly straight after we can pivot into something and have a chuckle and let those good times keep rolling.
For sure.
The shit sandwich. You do a positive, you do the shit, and then you do the positive.
Mm-hmm. And it's still a sandwich, and who doesn't like sandwiches?
Correct. Without butter in your case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. As is THG tradition, I guess we will end on a random tangent here. And so I'm not big on having like butter on most of my sandwiches, like especially like we've had the peanut butter discussion over the years where it's just peanut butter on bread or toast for me, no butter in between. And I didn't Miss Hart, are you the same? Or are you sort of neutral?
Well, the peanut butter thing, I hate peanut butter, so y'all can do whatever you want. Y'all can do whatever you want with it. But my sandwiches butter always. Yeah. Like even with ham or like meat, I put butter on it.
Yeah, see, I don't like that where the meat then gets a bit buttery. Like if I'll do like a ham salad sandwich, which I probably do most weeks, it'll just be bread, meat, salad, and then like the Kewpie mayo. That's sort of and then bread on top. No butter on that bread. Like condiments, but butter, no. I only like sort of buttered bread if it's going to get dipped into like a soup or something. I don't want to have a buttered sandwich. Like if I had a peanut butter sandwich, just peanut butter.
I butter my like strawberry jam sandwich, which is my go-to sandwich, and that has grossed out my husband. So yeah, see, I'm just jam. I'd just be jam on the bread. Just be jamming. Just jamming. Just jamming on the bread. Yeah. But yeah. This has been fun. Have you had a good time ripping in the studio? I've had the best time. I can't wait to come back and talk about something else. That's it. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's it. Get up on my Apex Legends. Yeah, we'll do like random segments where we'll like in air quotes cross over to you. You can be reporting live from somewhere and give us a random hot take on something. Absolutely. Also, Apex Legends is teams of 3, Brendan. We're going pro, people. You've heard it here first. Watch out, Rice Krispie treats and Pop-Tarts. We're coming. Team Doritos is coming. We are. Team Robovac, right, coming at you. Is it because we suck? Or they suck. Jesus Christ. Sorry. There's a demon in the studio. No, Nadine. Jesus Christ. Sorry. On that note, let's pivot into the next segment of THG 250. All right, Miss Hart, this brings us to the back end of episode 250. To say that this episode has been a journey would be a severe dramatic understatement. It has been very unlike most episodes that we've churned out here in the THG studios, but have you had a good time? It was lots of fun. I hope everyone enjoyed to get to know us all a little too much. But yeah, I had fun, and I think you had fun, and I think that's all that matters when it comes to recording this little podcast of ours.
100%. And yeah, caring is sharing. And yeah, we do often overshare on this podcast, but it's part of our charm or part of our, questionable taste or questionable show and discussions. Nothing is off limits here at the Hungry Gamers. And yeah, we'll live and die on that hill. So Miss Hart, I wanted to bring one last little thing to the table, something I've been working on for a little while. It's very unlike most of the other things that have taken place on the Hungry Gamers, but I thought it would be pretty fun. So I don't know exactly how this came out. I'm going to be hearing this for the first time as well, as you are. I do have a video that accompanies this as well that I can show you offline, but obviously for the listeners at home, you're just going to get it in all its audio-based goodness now. But Miss Hart, strap in. This one is for you.
Hello, Allie. It's Tamara Tooney, also known as Dr. Melinda Warner, on what I believe is one of your favorite television shows, Law & Order SVU. I am reaching out to wish you a happy 250th episode anniversary of your podcast, The Hungry Gamers. Brendan reached out to me because he especially wanted you to know that he so appreciated everything you do for the podcast. He says you are the glue that keeps it together. So keep up the great work. Thank you on behalf of everybody at SVU. We love our fans. We so appreciate the support we get from all over the world. I understand you guys are in Australia, which is amazing. I was in New Zealand last year working on a Netflix show, and I so had wanted to pop over to Australia, but of course because of COVID, everything was, locked down. But maybe next time when we do another season and I'm in that part of the world, I can come to Australia. I've never been, and I would love to do that. So anyway, back to you guys. Congratulations on 250 episodes, and thank you for being such huge fans of SVU. We so appreciate our fans. Because of you guys, we are the longest running drama on television, and we are so happy and proud of that. So again, thank you for your support. Here's to the Hungry Gamers. I'm going to have to check it out, and wishing you 250 more. Take good care. Mwah.
Oh my gosh.
So there you go. I couldn't get Stabler or Benson. I couldn't find them or track them down on any platform. So I thought, who else is a stalwart and a figurehead of the beloved SVU? And I thought, who better than Tamara Tooney to try and jump on the show? And we got there. We got there. Took some juggling and some doing, but we got there in the end.
SVU is essentially the unannounced third member of Hungry Gamers. We always love to bring up our SVU memories and a love for the TV series, and that's just incredible. We now have a guest, technically.
We do. I love that she sort of went a little bit off script and started talking about recording in New Zealand and trying to get to Australia. A little bit of inside baseball there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she might be coming to Australia sometime soon. And sadly, if she does, you won't be able to meet her because you're over probably you're her neighbor right now.
Her, yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I thought it'd just be something different and go a little full circle. Like the first episodes, especially with the old THG, we named them after Law and Order SVU episodes, the first few. And we talked on and off over the years about SVU pretty substantially. And everyone that's listened to this show once or twice probably knows that we're big fans of the show, and you especially. You are probably the SVU number one super fans. So
two watch throughs. I watched the whole thing 2 times, which is pretty incredible for SVU standards.
You are an animal. That is that's well over 600 episodes if you combine the two. I think they're over maybe close to 400 total now. Maybe I know it's in the 300s. I think
it's a lot. It's plenty, and this is the same girl who would rather watch SVU than watch a movie.
There's logic there. There's science that goes into that decision. But Miss Hart, that brings us to the end of THG 250. It has been just about our longest episode to date, I do believe. That time of final recording here, but it's been fun. We've made it. We've made it to the end of this monumentous occasion. 251 will be back to your usual listening THG fun that you used to. That gaming, pop culture, infotainment's going to be back in full display this coming week. But Miss Hart, anything else you want to say before we close down the studio for a couple of days? We're back here in 2 days to do the usual.
Yeah.
So not another week, just 2 days.
Yeah, just a big thank you to everyone out there that's currently listening, previously listened, or whatever, and supported us in any which way, whether it's, supporting us on Ko-fi, or whether it's just interacting with us online on Discord, Twitter, however you get to us. Any little bit of support that you've given to us has meant the world to us, and it's the little pebble in the bigger world. So thank you so much for everything that you guys do, and here's to 250 episodes.
Amen to that. If I had a drink, I'd cheers right now, but it is early in the morning as we currently record, so no beverage at the moment. But yeah, thanks to everyone that's listened, subscribed, supported, shared, laughed, cried, vented, all that kind of stuff, because that energy that you guys send our way is what keeps us moving forward, keeps those emotional lights on in our hearts, and this has made the journey even more fun and more rewarding with that support and that love, and having all you fantastic legends in our corner on the daily, because you guys help keep this show moving forward. Like Ali might be the glue, you guys you're the heart and soul, really. Without you guys, we're just two friends chatting into microphones. So thanks each and every one of you for turning up each and every week and showing your love and support to us in all of those ways, because it means the world. But ATEBIT Nation, until next time when we talk to you on the world first 251st episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast, much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.